My huis af in Graafrenet in die Oos-Kaap.
And I send my regards from my hometown of Graafrenet in the Eastern Cape.
Baie dankie.
Thank you very much.
Môre almal.
Good morning, everyone.
My naam is Madeleine Hicklin.
My name is Madeline Hicklin.
Ek verteenwoordig ook die Demokratiese Alliansie.
I represent the Democratic Alliance as well.
Ek is uitkomstig uit Midrand in Gauteng
I hail from Midrand in Gauteng.
en ek wil julle bedank vir julle moeite om hier na toe te kom in vandag se vergadering.
And I would like to thank you for making the effort to attend today's meeting.
Your input is very important to us and I really want to thank you very much for coming out today.
U insaag is vir ons ontsettend belangrik en ons is baie dankbaar dat julle vandag hierheen gekom het.
Dankie baie.
Thank you very much.
Goeiemôre almal.
Good morning, everyone.
My naam is Wayne Thring.
My name is Wayne Thring.
Ek is van KwaZulu-Natal af.
I'm from KwaZulu-Natal.
Ek verteenwoordig die ACDP.
I represent the ACDP.
We are so glad to see all of you here this morning.
Ons is baie bly om julle almal vanmôre hier by ons te sien.
I represent the ACDP on the Public Works and Infrastructure Committee.
Ek verteenwoordig die ACDP op die Departement van Openbare Werke en Infrastruktuur Portefeulje Komitee.
And we look forward to your inputs.
En ons sien baie uit na u insaag.
Mag die Here u ryklik seën. Baie dankie.
May the Lord bless you. Thank you very much.
Goeiemôre.
Good morning.
My name is Tim Mashele,
My name is Tim Mashele.
member of the African National Congress,
Ek is 'n lid van die ANC.
deployed in the National Assembly.
Ek is ontplooi in die nasionale vergadering.
I'm humbled to be part of this assembly.
Dit is my 'n nederige ervaring om deel te wees hiervan.
Baie dankie.
Thank you very much.
Sanibonani,
Good morning, everybody.
gama ulindi kamjobo,
My name is Lindy Wemchobo.
suka KwaZulu Natal,
I hail from KwaZulu-Natal.
ngideploywe yi-African National Congress,
I am-
National Assembly.
I am deployed by the National African National Congress to the National Assembly.
Ngililunga laleli committee,
I am a member of this committee.
yes. Ngiyajabula ukuba nani namhlanje.
I am so happy to be part and parcel of this meeting with you today.
Thank you.
And goes.
Goeiemôre almal.
Good morning, everyone.
Ek is Sharon van Skalkwyk,
I am Sharon van Skalkwyk.
'n lid van die ANC
I'm a member of the ANC.
wat ontplooi is na die nasionale vergadering
I've been deployed to the National Assembly
as lid van die komitee van openbare werke en infrastruktuur
as a member of the Committee for Public Works and Infrastructure,
en ek is woonagtig in Appington
and I stay in Uppington.
en ek is bly om vandag hier te wees. Baie dankie.
And I'm happy to be here today. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Goeiemôre.
My name is Elfas Fana Matebula.
My naam is Elvis van Matebula.
I'm a member of Parliament.
Ek is 'n parlementslid.
I'm deployed in Parliament by the only people's organization in South Africa, the African National Congress.
Ek is in die parlement ontplooi deur die enigste organisasie vir die mense en dit is die ANC.
I hail from Mpumalanga in a small town called Hendrina.
Ek kom van Hendrina en dit is 'n klein dorpie in Mpumalanga.
And I want to join my colleagues and thank and congratulate you for coming out in your numbers in exercising your constitutional rights and us in exercising our constitutional obligation to come and consult with you. And thank you very much.
Ek wil vir u baie dankie sê dat u hierheen gekom het saam met my kollegas waar ons u die geleentheid gee om u grondwetlike regte uit te oefen en waar ons grondwetlike pligte nakom. Baie baie dankie.
Thank you, honorable members.
A le leboga maloko a rona a tlotlegang.
We have been joined by our colleagues from the NCOP, the provincial legislature,
Le maloko a nang le rona mo go fane go tswa ko NP a maloko a molao.
the councillors from Khamahara local municipality,
Eng ba councilor ba ba tswang kwa masepala wa Khamahara.
and our first citizen of the John Taolo Gaetsewe district municipality,
Masepala wa Taolo wa John Tale a le o mongwe wa ba bagolo ba ba eteletseng ba ba nang le rona fano.
and the traditional leadership.
E ba eteletsa magosi.
Let's welcome Councillor Sophia Mosikatsi, the executive mayor of the district municipality.
Re amogeleng a rona o yo mogolo ke yo wa masepala wa rona wa Taolo Sophia.
And is deployed by the ANC.
Le o rometse fano ke
Thank you, Mbokoto. We have our colleague from the NCOP, Honorable, is it Aukam? Honorable Aukam.
a le motlotlege a o kam ene ke yo le ra mo amogela.
Thank you,
Ba ba
Honorable.
SOP.
And we have the member of the provincial legislature of Northern Cape, Honorable Steenkamp.
a le motlotlegi Steenkamp wa kgotlatheo molao ya mo Phaba.
And we have the following, they all deployed by the Democratic Alliance.
Ke ka bobedi ba bone ba rometse fano ke le lekoko la Democrat.
We have the following councillors from the DA who are serving in the Khamahara local municipality.
Le ba councilor ba ba latelang bao ba direlang mo lekokong la di ba le bone ba rometseng fano.
Councillor Duplessis,
Councilor Du Plessis,
Councillor Joseph,
Councilor Joseph,
Councillor Swart,
mo Councilor Swart.
Councillor Fori,
And then re leng Councilor Fori,
Councillor Vestey Hazen,
mo Councilor Eisen,
Councillor Matibe,
and re le mo Councilor Matibe,
Councillor Paul,
Councilor Paul,
Councillor Sebejo or Sebeko, whatever. Sorry.
Councilor Beko,
Say Councillor Morui or okay.
le mo Councilor More.
Please bear with me if I don't pronounce your name correctly.
Le kopa re le itshwareleng ha re sa bitse maina a lona sentle.
My own language is Xhosa. I'm a Xhosa speaking.
Ke mo Xhosa.
Thank you.
leboga.
The traditional leadership will introduce them when I know them. For now, I have not yet received, but I've seen that we have a representative from the traditional leadership who will introduce them shortly.
Ba e leng magosi ba tla newe maina a gore a ba teng me ha re se se gore ba teng re tla ba letla gore ba re ke bone bo mang.
We are here as the portfolio committee
Re tle fano jaaka portfolio committee
to seek your views on the expropriation bill number 23 of 2020.
go tla go utlwa maikutlo a lona ka molao wa kgapo ya dithoto wa karolo 2020
Of whether we support the bill or are in objection of it.
go tla go utlwa gore a lo amogela molao tlhomo o go buiwang ka ona kgotsa lo kgatlhanong le one
With reasons, of course.
mme lo ntshe mabaka a seo
Let me introduce the traditional leadership.
e re ke lo itse sefano o mongwe wa bagosi wa ba bagosi ba ba leng teng fano
We have the chairperson of the traditional Khoisan house, at Olifantshoek, I would say in our Xhosa, we say chief, I don't know whether am I saying it correctly. Chief Dirk Minis,
Re na le
thank you.
Chief Dirk Meneskiole o amogetsweng fano ene ke moeteledipele wa bantlo ya dipuo tse di welang ka fa tlase ga tsa Sekhoisan. So re a mo amogela go tswa kwa Olifantshoek.
We have the spokesperson of the traditional house, Cornelius Jacobs.
Mme re na le Cornelius Jacob ene ke moeledi wa bantlo eo ya ba Makhoisan.
We have the traditional doctor of the Khoisan house, Jan Lawrence.
Mme re na le Jan Lawrence ene ke moeteledipele wa bongaka ba tsa mamalapa a Makhoisan. Re a mo amogela le.
We also have the traditional doctor of the Khoisan traditional house, Jacobus Marstorp.
Mme re na le Jacobus Marstorp ene ke o mongwe wa dingaka tsa Makhoisan ebile ke leloko la bantlo ya Makhoisan.
Thank you. We have the secretary of the traditional Khoisan house, Elisna Jacobs.
Mme re na le bantlo ya setso Elisa Jacob le ene ke mokwaledi wa ba leloko leo.
You are all welcome.
So lotlhe re a lo amogela.
As I was saying,
Jaaka ha ke ne ke bua
we seek your views
re batla go utlwa maikutlo a lona
on this important bill.
ka molaotlhomo ono o botlhokwa.
This bill has been introduced
Molaotlhomo ono o ile wa tlhamiwa ke
to repeal Act number 63 of 1935, the Expropriation Act.
gore o ntshe molao wa number 63 wa 1975 e leng molao wa kgapo ya dithoto.
An act that is not in line with the current constitution of 1996.
Mme molao ono o ga o tsamaisane gotlhelele le molaotheo o re dirang ka one gone jaanong jaana.
Therefore, the bill that we're bringing to you is to be in line with the constitution of the country.
Ka jalo molaotlhomo o re tlisitse mo go lona re batla gore o tsamaisane sentle le molaotheo wa naga ya rona.
This bill seeks to ensure that there are uniform ways of expropriating properties by government.
Maikalelo a molaotlhomo ono o ke go tlhomamisa gore go na le tsela e tshwana mo gare ga botlhe ha ba tseelwa dithoto tsa bone.
For public purpose or public interest.
Tse e leng gore e tla nna dithoto tsa batho ka bongwe kgotsa tse di tlileng go dirisediwa puso.
And if the instance may arise,
Mme ha go ka direga se se tshwanang le seo,
the government may expropriate
puso e ka nna ya gapa dithoto
properties without compensation.
jaaka ha re itse gongwe kwa ntle ga tuelo.
We are here to seek your honest views on this important bill.
Ka jalo tota re batla go utlwa gore sentlentle lona lwa reng ka molaotlhomo ono o botlhokwa.
We expect you,
Re lebeletse gore
when you are presenting your facts,
ha lo ntsha dintlha tsa lona le bua mabaka a lona,
please do not insult us or other people in the house.
lo se ka lwa bua jaaka ekete lwa re tlhapaola kgotsa go tlhapaola ba bangwe ba ba leng mo teng ga ntlo.
As we all know that the government of the day
Re a itse gore puso e busang gone jaanong jaana
is allowing you to participate in this important bill
e lo letla gore lo nne le seabe le go tsaya karolo mo molaotlhomo ono o botlhokwa
by presenting your views.
ka gore lo ibolelele maikutlo a lona.
We'll only give you 3 minutes.
Re lo naya metsotso e le meraro fela.
You are free to express your view in any of the 11 official languages.
Lo letleletswe go bua puo epe fela e o le e batlang e nngwe ya dipuo tsa semmuso.
If you exceed 3 minutes,
Fa o tlola metsotso e le meraro,
we will definitely stop you.
re tlile go emisa.
Anyone who can come in so that we can fill those empty spaces.
So a gona le bangwe ba o ka tlatsang ditulo tse di kwa morago.
Because, or maybe let's start on this side, the one that is already filled.
Gongwe re simoleng ka mo letlhakoreng le bonalang le setse le batla le tletse batho.
Those that would like to speak, can you please raise your hand?
Tsholetsang matsogo ba le batlang go bua tswetswe.
We will start on this side. We want people to fill these seats
Re tla
first.
kopa go simolola pele ka mo ne.
3 minutes,
3 minutes mongwe le mongwe.
you present your view.
Ke nako eo e beilweng, eo e emetseng.
Let's start with the traditional leadership. All those that would speak, they can just come here, the traditional leaders.
Re tla simolola ka barona ka magosi a rona, mme
Can I
morago ga
take
moo,
the hands here?
lona le ntse le tshwareditse matsogo, ba tla ba
Once I've pointed at you, we have seats reserved for the speakers.
re kopa gore ha o supilwe o tle go dula mo moleng ono o.
Can our security assist us? The lady there, all those that have pointed, can you come to the seats that are reserved for you? And traditional leadership that is going to speak, I've already reserved seats for you. And the gentleman in front, can you please join the seats? This row. Anyone on this side again?
Net om te bevestig dat hierdie gespreekgeleenthede is oop vir almal in Afrikaans, Engels, Tswana.
Anyone again on this side? Okay, we're coming to this side now. Any hands on this side? Yes, can you just please join the queue? Yes, yes. If you'd like to speak, just join the queue.
Mongwe le mongwe o batlang go bua, re kopa gore lo tsene lo dule mo ditulong tseno tse.
Any other hand? Any other hand? Can you please join the queue? Any other hands? Okay. We will, after the last one, then it will be Her Worship, the Executive Mayor.
Morago ga moo, then re tla be re reetsa ma toropo wa rona, le ene o tla ntsha
As we
ditshwaelo tsa
have
gagwe.
done so in all the areas that we have visited,
Jaaka re ile ra dira mo mafelong otlhe a re ileng ra a etela,
we give traditional leaders 5 minutes.
re naya ba e leng ba magosi metsotso e le 5.
Thank you.
Re a leboga.
Good morning, goeiemôre. Nou, my naam is Alex Jacobs. Ek is die tradisionele spreker van die JTG tradisionele Khoisanhuis. Die eerste nasie van hierdie land. Nou, ek gaan my voorlegging doen. Die JTG tradisionele Khoisanhuis ondersteun die voorgestelde wetsontwerp rondom grondonteeneming op sekere voorwaardes. Punt nommer 1, munisipaliteit en staatsgronde wat nie gebruik word nie. Plase wat destyds afgevat was vanaf die Khoisan mense. Daar is baie plaaseienaars wat tot 5 plase besit, terwyl die Khoisan gemeenskap geen grond het nie. Die myne wat op die Khoisan gronde myn, Kumani, Asmang Iron Ore en Kumba Anglo-American. Die Khoisan gemeenskap het geen grond nie, terwyl ons besig is met ons Khoisan aktiwiteite sedert die leierskap tradisionele huise tot wetgewing deur die president geteken was op 1 April 2021. Huidiglik is ons besig vanaf 5 Januarie 2021 met 'n bewusmakingsveldtog met ons kultuur en tradisie op die munisipale grond in Olifantshoek wat ons verleen was van 'n munisipale amptenaar. Daar is so baie toeriste, reisigers wat beïndruk is met die selfs beleggers, maar die grond behoort nog steeds aan die munisipaliteit. Nou ons wil graag hoor of dit vir ons moontlik is dat ons ook hierdie grond kan beskikbaar stel vir ons tradisie en ons kultuur nie. Want ons is ook besig met die reeldans vir die kinders dans, daar is ook die plek in die gemeenskappe om die kinders te laat dansie. So, ons moet maar daartoe gaan om daar te gaan dans. Dan is dit die ander punt wat ek wil lig. So 50 kilometer van Olifantshoek is 'n plaas met die naam van Meerlus. Daar is ook van die beste rotstekeninge op daai plaas van die Khoisan. En daar het ook Khoisan mense gebly van ons mense, ons leier Dirk Binies, hulle daar gebore op daai plaas. Maar die plaas word nog steeds besit deur die wit mense. En daar is daar 'n plaas so 15 kilometer van hier af wat aan die Robinsons behoort het. Hulle is ook Khoisanse, maar daar is ook mense wat daar by plaas bly. Hulle kan ook nie daai plaas kry nie. Daar is geologiese bewyse dat in 1974 rotstekeninge Khoisan grondingrawings gekry was op Iskor. Dit was destyds Iskor geweest. Daar het hulle ingrawings gekry van Khoisan tekeninge, maar ons benut niks uit die myne uit nie. In 1990 het hulle ook tekeninge gekry by Komani, by Bruce myn. Maar ons kry ook niks daaruit. Die geologiese verslae is by die McGregor Museum in Kimberley. Maar ons as die Khoisan, ons benefit niks uit die myne uit nie. So, dis ook maar hierdie gedagte vandag bring. Laat ons ook as die Khoisan gemeenskap, wat die eerste nasie van die land is, moet gehelp word. Maar ons ondersteun hierdie grondonteiening ten volle. Baie dankie.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Adam Jacobs. I am here as a representative from the JTV, the traditional Khoisan house. And as the First Nation, here we, the JTV, we completely support this expropriation bill, but we do have a few conditions. First of all, we feel that municipal land that is currently not being used should be returned to the Khoisan. Since we are the first nation here in South Africa. There are farmers and owners of land who have up to 4 farms and even more, but we the Khoisan, we don't have land. There are even some mines as well, and we don't have access to the benefits from that. On 1 April 2021, there was this bill signed in by the President, and we've been doing campaigning to create awareness about our cultural practices, and there are many tourists who are extremely impressed with what we do here, but still, the land is still owned by the municipality. And what we're asking for is that this land be returned to us. You see, our children need to dance and need to show our culture, but in order to do that, they have to go to town, because we can't do it on our own land because we don't have land. Secondly, there's a farm called Meerlus, where there are rock drawings, old rock drawings found that were made by the Khoisan, but this farm is still owned by white people. The same thing at the Robinsons farm, where we still don't have access to the benefits of that land. There's evidence of rock drawings on a site where Iskor back then had their mines, beautiful rock drawings. But we don't have access to that. In 1990, there was also a discovery that is now sitting in the McGregor Museum in Kimberley, but we don't get anything from that. And that's what we're here to do. We're asking for help. So we completely support this bill as it is.
My naam is Freddie Richardson. Ek is nou nie hier vir iemand anders nie. Ek is net nie teen dit nie. Maar 'n ou moet 'n persoon vergoed vir as hy iets wil hê. As hy 'n plaas wil hê, dan moet hy daarvoor betaal, want die vorige ou het daarvoor betaal. Die ander ding is, vat ons dit. Waar gaan ons kos vandaan afkom? Jy kan nie net 'n ding vat en dan sê hoor hierso, ek gaan jou nie vergoed nie. Dit gaan Suid-Afrika in 'n dinge se insit, want as ek skuld het op my plaas wat ek by die bank het en ek moet nou van my plaas afgee pad dat niemand my vergoed nie, dan wat dan gaan gebeur is, ek gaan vir die plaas, vir die bank sê, meneer, moet nie my kom vra waar die geld is nie, gaan vra daai ou wat nou daar bly vir die geld. Dan praat ons nie van duisende rande nie, ons praat van miljarde rande wat ons dan Suid-Afrika gaan teruggooi. So, om te sê, om net 'n ding te vat, nee meneer, dit kan nie so werk nie. Daai ou het betaal vir daai stuk grond, gee hom sy regverdige deel terug. Sodat ons almal wat hier is in Suid-Afrika kan sê, hoor hierso, okay, ons het ons fair deal gekry. Maar jy kan nie net vat nie, baie dankie.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Freddie Richardson. I represent myself. I can't say that I'm completely against the bill. However, we have to be compensated. What would we do about food then as well? I mean, if I need to take my things and leave the farm and I don't get any compensation, we are going to run into big financial troubles, especially also in terms of food security. That would also be an issue. I mean, what would happen if I have debt on this land and it is now being taken away without compensation on my part? I'm going to tell the bank, go look for the money with the current owner. And if this should be the case, we're not talking about 2 or 3 rand, we're talking about billions of rands. I can't say that this is right, to just take land. It cannot be right. We have to give the owners their fair share back in return if we want to take the land again. Thank you very much.
Goeiemôre. Ek is Elmien Boysen. Ek is 'n pensionaris. Ek het 38 jaar lank gewerk sodat ek vir my 'n huis kon koop en daarin kan woon tot die eind, totdat die liewe Vader besluit hy kom haal my nou. Dit is heeltemal verkeerd van enige iemand om nou vir my toe kom sê, ons vat nou jou huis en al jou besittings en jy moet hier pad gee. Waarheen weet ons nie, maar ons wil ook nie weet nie. Maar ek kan vir u sê, ek was glad nie vanoggend van plan om die vergadering by te woon nie. Maar op pad na die plek waarin ek wou gaan, het die liewe Here vir my gesê, Elmien, sorg dat jy hier kom. En ek weet, my Here staan op die oomblik, direk hier langs my, sodat ek kan kom pleit vandag vir hierdie belaglike storie, wat opnuut ons wêreld, ons land, se mense onderste bo gooi. U weet hoe baie dinge die afgelope tyd ons mense al deur mekaar gegooi het. Ons ken mekaar nie meer nie. Ons ken inteendeel nie eens meer onsself nie. Want dan moet ons dit hoor en dan moet ons na dat luister. En niemand gee enige aandag aan enige iets nie. As ek dit wil vat, dan vat ek dit. Maak nie saak of ek die reg daartoe het of nie. En ek vra vandag vir u dat hierdie nuwe ding wat nou besig is om in ons land te gebeur, om grond sonder vergoeding te vat, is 'n algehele verkeerde besluit. En ek kan vandag vir u sê, ons Here wil dit nie so hê nie. Dit was nooit in sy plan dat so iets ooit sal gebeur nie. Ek wil net vir u iets van die geskiedenis vertel. Was geskiedenisonderwyser op skool. En miskien het julle ook van die man geleer. Sy naam was Napoleon Bonaparte. Hy het in die jaar 1789, in die jaar 1779, skiet, 1789, daar rond, het hy gesê, hy het die volgende belangrike woorde gesê.
Thank you, ma'am. Your time is up.
I would just want to finish my sentence. En hy het gesê, laat China slaap, want as China wakker word, sal die wêreld daarvan weet. China kort nog net 2 lande, en dit is Amerika en Israel. Baie dankie.
Thank you.
Ek dink u het genoeg om oor te gaan nadink.
A reminder to all those that are still to speak, the time is only 3 minutes, and we indicate to you when your time is up. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Almin Boysens. I'm a pensioner, and I've been working for more than 38 years. Why did I work? To buy a house, a place where I can live in, until the day the Lord deems it's time for me to leave. But now it's wrong that people are telling me to take your stuff, take your possessions, or they are taking my stuff, they're taking my possessions, they're taking my house, and they're telling me to just leave. Where should I go? Nobody cares about that. You see, this morning, I didn't really intend to come here. I was on my way somewhere else. But on the way there, my God told me to come here. And as I stand here now, I know He's here, right next to me. And I'm here to beg for this silly thing to not pass. This silly thing that will upend so many things in this country. And we have already been through so much. Things change, yes. But now people are just taking things whether they have the right to do so or not. This new thing of expropriation without compensation, it's wrong. This is not what our Lord wants. This is not part of His plan. And I want to tell you a story, a bit of history. You see, I used to be a history teacher, and there was this man, Napoleon Bonaparte, and he said something in 1779, I'm not quite sure. 1789, yes. And he said, let China sleep, because when they wake up, the whole world will know.
Goeiemôre, my naam is Henriette Du Plessis. Ek staan vandag hier so want ek moet definitief my teenkanting aanteken teen hierdie voorgenome wetsontwerp. Veral as ons kyk na section 25, want die mense hier moet besef, dit gaan nie net oor eiendom nie, dit gaan oor al jou eiendom, privaat reg. Daar's pensioenfondse, daar's grond waarvoor ons mense gewerk het. Daar's baie staatsgrond wat ontwikkel kan word. Selfs hier in Gamagara kan ek vir julle soveel voorbeelde gee hoe lyk grond wat jy net verniet kry. Gaan kyk na ons skaaieappel. Dis tot gronde. Dit was 'n spogplek vir ons mense om naweke heen te gaan. Gaan kyk hoe lyk dit. Hoekom? Dis grond wat iemand net gekry het waarvoor hulle nie betaal het nie. Grond, nou wil die staat grond vat van ons mense wat hard gewerk het vir dit. 28 jaar later in demokrasie. En dis hoe dit lyk. Ek's baie jammer, ek kan nie vir dit stem nie. Ons mense het hard gewerk vir dit. Daar staat grond wat jy kan vat en jy kan dit gaan ontwikkel. Maar hier's voorbeelde van hoe dit lyk as jy dit net kyk. En dit is nie net hier nie. Dis 'n simpele voorbeeld en ek dink baie van u wat hier is sal my saamstem. Kyk hoe lyk Kaaieappel. Kyk hoe lyk die nuwe grond wat hulle gekry het vir 'n sporttrein. 10 miljoen rand later en dis tot niet. Is dit hoe ons wil hê ons land moet lyk? Nee, so ek stem definitief teen dit.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Henriette Du Plessis, and I wholeheartedly cannot support this bill. Section 25 does not just talk about property as in land, it's all properties. There's pension funds, there's houses, things like that, that's also implicated in this bill. We have so many examples of land that was taken and given to people for free, and it just turned out to become totally inhabitable. It was in a terrible state. We had a place called Taolo that was one of the prestigious properties in this area, and it totally went to nothing. It turned to dust. There's so many examples of state-owned land that was taken and given to people to develop, and absolutely nothing came of it. It's in a worse state than it used to be. I mean, we look at our sporting grounds, 10 million rand spent on it, and just, you would know, the state of it is absolutely atrocious. We cannot support this bill with what we are seeing. Thank you.
Môre dames en here, ek is Pieter Ras. Ek wil ook my teenstem genotuleer hê teen artikel 25. Ek dink dis ongrondwetlik en dit reis in teen my ongrondwetlike reg. Daar is genoeg grond in die staat se besit. Hulle kan die grond gebruik vir die doel wat hulle dit wil gebruik. Daar is al landbougronde opgeëis wat lê agteruit gegaan het, wat nie 'n inkomste in hierdie land bewerkstellig op hierdie stadium nie. Ons kan Astina in die Vrystaat gebruik as 'n voorbeeld. Gaan kyk hoe lyk hy plaas op hierdie stadium. En gaan kyk wat was hy voor die tyd. So ons kan nie, dit wil vir my voorkom of ons besig is om ou Rhodesië, Zimbabwe se voorbeeld te volg, wat dit in Suid-Afrika gaan gebeur, Mandela se drome van die land as reënboognasie, dit lyk vir my, dit val uit mekaar uit. Want daar word altyd wonde oopgekrap en ou verledes opgehaal en uitgehaal, daar word nie voorgebou en voortgebou om 'n reënboognasie in die land te vorm nie. Daar is te veel politiek betrokke. Die mense worry nie meer oor die mense se lewens nie, want 'n mens se lewe is vir jou niks werd deesdae nie. Dit word gevat en geplunder soos wat dit wil. Party van ons met die COVID-reëls nakom, ander kan by Nkandla en duisende opdag en kom niks oor nie. So ek wil net weet, wat se voorbeeld stel ons regering in hierdie land vir ons mense? Dis is 'n bekommernis op hierdie stadium. Ons boer agteruit, nie vorentoe nie. Ons staatsinstansies, Eskom, Poskantoor, ons kan hulle opnoem, SAL, het dit vorentoe gegaan in hierdie paar jaar, in die 30 jaar? Nee. So waar wil u hê moet ons beland op die einde van die dag? Agteruit boer? Of gaan ons saam aan hande vat en vorentoe gaan? Dis al hierdie dinge wat vir ons baie bekommerend maak. Dis hoekom ons baie mense goeie kennisse en mense met hoë kwalifikasies die land verlaat. Ons verloor ons kundige mense in hierdie land. Wat doen ons regering daaraan? Krykie bane van oorsee af om vir ons te kom dokter, plaas van om ons eie mense te gebruik. Ons het kundige mense in hierdie land, man. Ons is nie onnosel nie. Ons het verstand. Ons is geleerd. Ons het hard gewerk vir dit wat ons besit in hierdie land. Ons het niks verniet gekry nie. Ons het duisende en miljoene rande betaal vir ons grond en ons huis en dit wat ons besit vandag. Ons het dit nie verniet gekry, ons het gewerk daarvoor. En dis verkeerd wat ons doen in hierdie land. Ons sit meer en meer druk op die mense wat dit kan bekostig en die pot aan die kook hou. En ons moet wet en orde handhaaf. Die wet in hierdie land is nie net vir sekere mense, vir sekere groepe nie. Dis vir ons almal en ons almal moet dit nakom. Dan sal dit vir ons 'n veilige land maak en 'n lekker land om 'n reënboognasie te kan bou. Baie dankie.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Peter Ras, and I'm here to oppose this Section 27 Act because it's unconstitutional. It's against the Constitution that I believe in. And quite honestly, the state has enough land to give. In fact, there has been land that has been claimed and given to people, and it has just devolved. There was no profit from that. And there's a wonderful example of farms in the Free State to show exactly the same thing has happened there before. It seems that we're following the old Rhodesia, Zimbabwe route, where things get taken away and nothing happens from there, nothing develops. You see, Mandela had a dream about a rainbow nation, of us working together, but it seems like that dream is falling apart. And that dream is falling apart. Why? Because we keep on opening up old wounds. We don't work together. We're not trying to build, we're trying to tear things apart. There's too much politics, and our lives don't seem to matter. There's looting going on. I mean, think of these COVID rules, where laws seem to only apply to some and not to others. We're asked to wear masks, we're asked to be safe. Yet in Nkandla there are parties of hundreds of people, and where are the COVID rules there? There are so many examples in the state that we can look at where the same kind of thing has happened. There's Eskom, the post office, the SAA. Has there been any progress made? No. Things have just been going backwards and backwards and backwards. And we're all going backwards. And this is something that is tremendously worrying. There are people with expertise, people with knowledge, who are leaving this country to go find better opportunities elsewhere. What is our government doing about that? Nothing. They get in Cuban doctors. We have experts here. We have people who've studied and who are knowledgeable. But government doesn't seem to care. We worked hard for our things that we have. We worked for them. We didn't get them for free. We paid and we worked hard for our land. And what's happening at the moment is there's additional pressure on those who are trying to keep things going on in this country. Laws should be applicable to everyone. There should be fairness and justice, because only then will this be a safe country to live in, a good country to live in, a true rainbow nation.
Ek wil graag 'n stelling maak en daarom wil ek my punt stel ook. Onteiening sonder vergoeding. Kan u my hoor? Dankie. Onteiening sonder vergoeding staan ek totaal teen. Die stelling wat ek wil maak is, ons land het 59,62 bewoners in Suid-Afrika. 21,3% is geregistreer as belastingbetalers. 6,3% het hulle opgawes in 2020 ingedien. Nou hierdie 6,2% persone, belastingbetalers, moet sorg vir al die mense wat al die behoeftes van die land. En kan u voorstel, hoe gaan dit klop? As ons moet 'n beleid of hierdie goedkeuring gee aan onteiening sonder vergoeding, watter motivering gaan enige belastingbetaler of persoon wat positief is oor hierdie gedagte, hoe dink u gaan hulle gemotiveerd voel om hulle werk te doen, om voort te gaan, om belasting te betaal? Ek kan nie dink dat enige persoon wat regdenkend is, sal motivering kan hê nie. Hulle moet voorsien aan ons voedsel, onderwys, gesondheid, beskermingsdienste, al daai dinge hang af van daai inkomste. En die motivering daar kan nie daar wees as ons dit wat hulle besit, dit waarvoor hulle gewerk het, dit sonder kompensasie beplan om te onteien. U weet, soveel mense, dit raak nie net 'n sekere nasionaliteit nie. Onteiening gaan deurgaan. Ras, geslag, nasionaliteit gaan geen rol speel nie. Ons moet nie dink dit is net 'n eensydige aksie wat gaan plaasvind nie. En op grond daarvan sê ek vir u, ek kan dit en ons kan dit glad nie goed praat nie. Jy weet, selfs die Bybel sê vir ons, in die sweet van jou aangesig sal jy jou brood eet. Hulle sê nie dan gee jy jou brood weg nie. In die sweet van jou aangesig sal jy jou brood eet, sal jou besittings met ander woorde kry en daarvolgens gaan dit hanteer word. Daar gaan nie iemand anders daai brood vat en vir ander mense gee nie. En ek wil regtig vir u die punt maak dat ek voel die regering van die dag moet maar mooi dink. Dit is nie 'n utopia wat voor lê nie. Dis 'n droomwêreld as hulle so dink. Dit gaan meer verdeeldheid bewerkstellig as wat dit sal goed doen aan enkele mense. Want ek kan maar 'n bietjie nagaan. Mense wat dit steun, is baie keer mense wat terugsit en wag. Kyk, ons het 'n land van grants geword. Ons staan redelik bekend as 'n maatskaplike nasie of 'n land. So ons moet die gedagte van vat en gee en deel, moet ons liewers probeer.
Your time is up, ma'am.
Okay, ek gaan net nie die helfte ophou nie. Ons moet probeer om samewerking te kry en saam hierdie dinge te hanteer. Dankie.
Thank you.
Good morning, I am Mimi Swart, and I would like to make a statement. My statement of why I oppose expropriation without compensation. We have a country of just shy of 60 million people. Less than 10%, 9.3% are registered taxpayers. 6.2% of that 10% actually file tax returns. How can this small percentage carry an entire country? And what motivation will these taxpayers here, or even people who feel they support this bill, have to keep on paying tax if their properties will be taken away? Who in their right mind will have this motivation to continue to be a lawful taxpayer if you are threatened with expropriation of things you've worked very hard for? We are reliant, these taxpayers are the ones who make sure that we have food security, education, health, actual security. So they will not have any motivation to continue to pay tax if this were to happen. And this is not an issue that is defined to one specific race or gender. Everyone will be affected. Even the Bible states that by the sweat of your brow you will earn your bread. And that is exactly what it is. People have worked hard for their property and for what they own. And now it will just be taken away and given to someone else. The Bible doesn't say by the sweat of your brow your bread will be taken and given to someone else. It will be yours. You've earned it. Government really needs to consider this very, very carefully. We are not heading towards the utopia idealized. We are going to have more division, and it is going to cause more devastation than it will bring any good. We are already a country, we're known as the country of grants, where people, probably those who support it, are those sitting and waiting for grants. We cannot support this. We need to work together for a unified country and for prosperity for all. Thank you.
Baie goeiemôre almal. Ek is Gaetsewe. Ek wil net sê dit wat julle mee besig is, julle is besig met is nie goeie Afrikaanse woord nie, maar ek sal sommer net sê poef. Dis wat julle mee besig is. Eerste plek is ons almal is hierso, ons werk hard vir wat ons het. Sê die besighede wat ek gebou het, my plekke wat ek opsit, ek het hard gewerk daarvoor. Ons baie aande wat die helfte van julle kom leeg lê by die huise. En dan kom vra julle vir ons, dan wil julle nog ons geld ook vat daarvoor. Julle is alweer besig met 'n nuwe ding van 12% van ons salarisse wat julle wil vat. Wanneer gaan dit genoeg wees? Nou wil jy ons land ook nog vat. Dit wat ons hard voor gewerk het. My pa en my ma het nie vir my huise gegee nie. Ek het dit self gaan bou. Elke liewe plek wat ek self gebou het, met my hande gebou. Ek het mense gekry, werkers gekry wat elke aand hulle families gesorg het. As jy jou arbeid insit en daarvoor sal jy vergoed word. So al wat ek net vir julle sê is, julle moet regtig mooi dink wat julle doen. Dit gaan nie werk nie. Julle gaan op die einde van die dag, gaan julle mense meer laat honger ly. En 'n hongermens is 'n lelike mens. Hy sal steel, hy sal moord pleeg, om vir homself te kan sorg. Julle tronke is klaar vol, julle het self nie meer plek vir dit nie. En vir dit wat julle nie voor plek het, wat gaan julle met daai mense maak? So ek vra, dink mooi wat julle doen.
Good morning. My name is Jace Paxton, and I would like to say that what you're busy with here is a big pile of, and I'm not going to use that word, I'll say poo. You see, the first thing is we've been working hard, very hard in fact, to build businesses. And then there are loiterers who come knock on my door asking for handouts. The government is already taking 12% of our salaries. Is that not enough? Do you now want to take our land too? I built things myself. I got workers to help me, and you know what? They earned a living from that, to allow them to feed their families at night, just like what I have done. But the thing is, if there's no work, people will go hungry. And hungry people are angry people. And these people can steal and rob and murder. And our jails are already full. So what are we going to do with these people then? I want you to think very carefully about what you're about to do.
Goeiemôre aan die raadslede en aan die parlementslede. My naam is Kobus Hager, ek verteenwoordig myself. Ek is inwoner van Kathu. Ek wil net sê dat ek gekant is teen onteiening sonder vergoeding, teen verandering van die wetgewing. En die rede daarvoor is 1, niks is verniet in die lewe nie. 2, as daar enigiets grond of eiendom of iets gesteel is my advies aan julle dat daar 'n saak geopen word by die polisie, dat dit geondersoek word en dat wie ook al verantwoordelik is daarvoor dat dit tot boek gebring word. My punt is wat Freddie aangehaal het, die eerste spreker, het my laat dink, en dis baie waar. My vraag is net, as hulle sou iets onteien, en daar is nog skuld op die eiendom of op wat ook al dit mag wees, wie gaan die skuld oorneem? Of gaan die bank, waar die geld geleen word, of geleen was, met hulle die skuld dan gaan dra? Baie dankie.
Good morning. Good morning, councillors and parliamentary members. I'm Jacobus Hager. I am a Kathu resident, and I have to say that I oppose this bill and the changing of the law. Reasons for this include, number 1, nothing in life is free. And number 2, if property is stolen, I advise that a case be opened with the police and it be investigated so that the responsible parties can account for their misdeeds. And as the first speaker mentioned, it made me think that what if land is taken away and there is still debt connected to that land? Who's going to be responsible to repay that debt? Or am I going to have to be responsible for it? Or will the bank take over that debt, carry it? What will happen? Thank you very much.
Goeiemôre, dames en heren. My naam is Anna Morwe. En wat ik vanmorgen aan u wil voorhou, is dat ik is totaal en al gekant tegen die voorgestelde bil. En ik heb mijn redes daarvoor om dit te staf. En mijn redes is als volgt. Dit is niet nodig om die grondwet te wijzigen, nie, want dit maakt al reeds voorziening voor grondhervorming. En mijn tweede reden hiervoor is, grondhervorming het niet gewerkt nie. En hoe kom dit niet gewerkt? Dit is als gevolg van die ANC-se corruptie. En mijn derde reden is, daar is zoveel staatsgrond wat rond ligt, wat kan gegeven worden aan al die opkomende boeren. En mijn laatste punt wat ik wil maken, vraag ik vandaag voor jullie dat jullie met baie mooi ding daaroor. Gaan leer maar en denk daaroor. Wanneer jullie dit waarmee u bezig is om te willen implementeren, dat hierdie aangeleendheid aan het einde van die dag kan leiden tot werksverliezen en voedselonzekerheid. Gaan denk maar mooi daaroor. Baie dank.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Moweni, and I'm here to tell you today that I am wholeheartedly and emphatically against this new bill. And I have my reasons. And I'm going to give you my reasons here today. My first reason is this is not needed. We don't need to adjust the Constitution since there's already a provision for land reform in the Constitution. Which brings me to my second reason. Land reform did not work. Why? Because of the corrupt ANC and what they did. Third reason, there's enough city ground lying around that can be given to new entrant farmers. The fourth reason, I want you to think about this. If this thing that you're proposing now is to be implemented, it can lead to unemployment, it can lead to a lack of food security, and that is why I want to ask you, think about this long and hard.
A ke dumedise batlotlegi ke boe ke dumedise le bone botlhe ba tlile mo tulong e. Nna ke ema yana ke rotloetsa tšweledišo ya molawana o. Ke le phuthego pitšwe ke tšwa ko lehatsheng la Ellen Daily ko mo tlase ga bogosi jwa ga kgosi Yanki jwa Batlhaping. Ke gola ke nna kana boutata ba šule borre rona ba šule ba se ke ba tseme ba ne le tshwanno ya lehatsi le nna ke le ka yana gompieno yana ga ke na tshwanno ya lehatsi. Mme jaanong puso ya rona ke rotloetsa gore le rona e re akaretse mo bathong ba ipitsang gore ba na le mahatsi. Gone yaanong yana ga o lebelela mo John Taolo Gaetsewe ka moka go na le dikgosi tse dikgolo bo kgosi Toto bo kgosi Yanki o ka ba bitsa botlhe mo tlase ga bone re tshela re sena tshwanelo ya mahatsi re tshela re itse gore lehatsi le neetswe kgosi mme dikgosi tsa rona tsa rona tse ke re na mo tlase ga tsone ga di na tokomane e reng ba na le tshwanelo ya lehatsi re nna hela gone no yana sengwe se ke se ntshwenyang ke gore molawana o se ka re ha o tla mo dimasepaleng tsa rona tse di itseng gore di mo ditulong tsa bogosi ba ka tla ba tseela rona batho ba re na le re dutse mo le re sena ditshwanelo gongwe lehelonyana lengwe le le setseng le ke ne ke le dirisa jaaka phulo ba letsa ba re le amoga ba re molao wa re ka tsaya lehatshe ntle le phimolakeledi. So ke ne ke kopa puso ya rona gore e lebisise gore bontsi jwa rona batho ba re sotlegileng go tswa ko nakong ele ya kgatelelo ba gompieno yana re santse re sena le tshwanelo ya ditshwanelo tse batho ba na le tsone ba ipitsang gore ba na le lehatshe la bone. Le rona re na le tlhokego e gore re ipitse gore re na le lehatshe re maAforika Borwa, mme rona mo Aforika Borwa re ne re bidiwa batswa kwa nako e hitileng, mme re ipitsa gore re baagi ba South Africa, mme ga re na lehatshe. So se re akaretsa jang gore re maAforika Borwa mme re sena tshwanelo ya lehatshe mo South Africa? Ke a leboga.
My name is Phutego, P-H-U-T-H-E-G-O, P-I-C-W-E, Phutego. I hail from Enedale, and what I want to do this morning is that, first of all, I want to pass on to my greetings to the House at large and all the honorable members here present before us. And I would like to state that from the days of long ago, we have had our grandfathers, our grandmothers who used to live obviously in different parts of South Africa here. They had never experienced the joy of land reformation. Any of the lands that has ever been taken away from them has never been restored to them. So I really support the bill. I would like to encourage the government to please make sure that they include us among the people who have the right to experience land reformation, because we need it. We used to live under different kings, such as chiefs, actually, the chiefs by the name Chief Tlotlo, Chief Yankees, you name them, they are there in the history. And living under these chiefs, we really have never had the experience of them thinking that we've got the right to have land be given back to us. All what they had is some documents that actually says that land must be expropriated from us. And such law, which they actually used to live by, it's totally unacceptable, because we know today, they will say to us that the law says, every time when you consider or wonder about this, they will say the law says take it from them. But of course, we don't have any proof that such anything existed before. So we have suffered a lot for a very, very long time. When we think of the days of the former governments, we suffered a lot under oppression. Land has been expropriated from us, and then we've been regarded, even though we were South Africans, as foreigners. And we used to wonder as to, but how come to be regarded as foreigners when we actually live in our own motherland? So really, we want to encourage the government to consider what has happened before, and please include us among those who feel that they've got the right to have land be restored to them, because this is something that we want to experience as well. So I wholeheartedly support the bill. Thank you.
And good morning. Ke tla kopa hore ke bue ke tsenye mask because I want to observe the protocols of COVID-19. Pardon? Pardon? Yeah. Let me just put it down for now. Yes. From here, I'm going to take my second jab. Ke a leboga bagaetsho. Ya buang ke Councillor Sophia Musikatse. Ke Mayor mogolo wa sedika sa John Taolo Gaetsewe. Ke boye pele ke amogele baeng ba rona go tswa ko pusong ya rona ya ko setlhoeng ko parlamenteng. Ke lo amogela mo sedikeng sa rona sa John Taolo Gaetsewe mo Gamagara local municipality. A ke simolole ke tlhalose gore mo re leng teng mo Gamagara mo Masepala ke a utlwa ba re ba na le lehatshe, ga ba na lehatshe. Ha ba batla go neela batho ditirelo, municipality must exchange e kope lehatshe e ne batho ba ba exchangeang le bone sengwe gore ba kgone go nna le lehatshe la go agela batho is either matlo, ga gona lehatshe la gore batho ba rona ba kgone go nna le dikampa ba kgone go isa diphologolo tsa bone teng mo Gamagara. Go na le ba ba nang le lehatshe ba itheketse lehatshe ka gore bone ba kgona go reka lehatshe. Go na le lefelo le re le bitsa re re Reitshof. It's just about 5 km from here. Go go dulang batho ba ba nang le bokgoni jwa go reka lehatshe. Batho ba rona ba tswa ko dipolaseng tse e leng gore ga se tsa bone, ke tsa batho ba ba itheketseng dipolasi tseo jaaka ba bua. When they come from those farms, they came to the municipality and look for accommodation. That's why puso ya rona e bone gore go botlhokwa gore ba agele batho ba rona matlo ba ba senang bokgoni, because the same people who have been working the land is the same people who doesn't have the land as we speak today. So I'm here actually to support expropriation of land without compensation, because I know government will not just take anyone's land and not go through all the processes that needs to be gone through, investigations, verifications of what is happening on that land. So I support expropriation of land without compensation, because our people doesn't have land. We also need land so that they can also make a living for themselves. Unfortunately, our people doesn't have the money because they have been working for peanuts, so they cannot afford to buy a farm. Thank you so much.
Good morning, my name is Sophia Musikadze. I'm an executive councillor and a mayor. I would like to state right from the beginning that I really support the bill that the government actually has proposed. What is happening here is that here in Gamagara municipality, we actually have had people who actually don't have the land. Now, the municipality, when they want to actually do some services for the people, they themselves do not have the land. It is a problem because now they have to ask for the land from somewhere so that they can carry on with the program of human settlement. There are some people who can afford it, who have been able to buy themselves the land. For an example, one of the places just about 5 kilometers from here, you find the residents there who can afford to be able to buy land for themselves. And some people actually have been working the land for a very long time, but they themselves do not have the land. Now that emphasizes one of my other reasons why I do support the bill, so that the municipality can actually go through with it. And we know that the government has gone through the important protocols of wanting to exercise land reformation. They cannot just do it without anything in the right places so that the people can actually be able to have the land. So we want to follow the program, and then we want to obviously encourage the government to continue with this program of land reformation, because we need it. And then we need it because we want to be able to make a living. We don't have money, and then the land is one of the most commodities that can actually be able to help us to accomplish some of these goals. And I do support the bill.
Thank you to all the presenters. We are now going to allow those who would like to speak, if they can raise hands. This is the row. If I point your hand, you come to the row. Yes, number 1, number 2. Number 3, the tree on that row. Number 4, yes. Can you come to the seats? Okay, number 5, number 6, number 7. Number 8, yes. And let's first finish this side. How many do we need? 2. Okay, let's take 2, the 2, yes. We don't need it. Okay, okay, okay. No, the number is fine. We will take you in the next round. Or maybe just pull a chair for her. Just pull a chair for her. Yeah. I understand that there are many that are outside. Can they just let them in and fill those seats? Those that are outside, can you let them in, fill those seats so that those that have already spoken. Okay. Especially on this side. We are also appealing on this side. Those that were here earlier in the morning on this side, if they're not going to speak or they've already spoken, can we please, we are humbly begging you to leave the hall so that we allow those that are outside to come in. We're referring to this side.
Ik wil net graag vragen voor diegene wat reeds vanoggend gepraat het, as u beurt verby is, asseblief verlaat die saal om plek te maak vir nuwe mense om in te kom.
And to all those that just came in,
Vir die wat sopas ingekom het,
you only have 3 minutes to present your views.
wees bewus daarvan dat u net 3 minute het om die stelling te stel.
Once the 3 minutes is over,
Na daardie eerste 3 minute,
we are going to indicate to you that your time is up.
gaan daarvoor u aangedui word dat die tyd verstreke is.
Thank you. You may speak. The sound people fix the mic.
Goeiemôre, my naam is Gideon Pinaar. Ek is hier om myself te verteenwoordig, my familie, my vriende en van my kollegas. Ek is heeltemal teen hierdie drakoniese wet. Ons is al die afgelope 30 jaar wat ons aanskou en moet sien en moet leef saam met die ANC se onbekwaamheid, hulle onbevoegdheid, hulle korrupsie, hulle dwaalweë, waar die een minister na die ander minister al vir 30 jaar lank rondgeskuif word, van die een pos na die ander pos en een gemors daarvan word gemaak op die ander gemors. Ek is totaal teen hierdie grondonteiening sonder vergoeding. As ons kyk wat in die verlede gebeur het en wat in dieselfde gees plaasgevind het, is affirmative action. Affirmative action het mense poste gekry, hulle is in plekke ingesit waar hulle nie hoort nie, waarvoor hulle nie bekwam is nie, en ons sien die effek vandag in ons ekonomie, ons sien dit in die staatsinkomste, dan is daar BBEE, wat 'n verdere gemors is. Die een besigheid na die ander het as gevolg daarvan wat hulle verplig is om direkteure in poste sit wat geen bydrae lewer tot die maatskappy, tot die land se vordering, tot die ekonomie en weer eens tot die land se inkomste, die land se welvaart nie. Die volgende is, wat is dit anderster as onteiening is die kwotastelsel in sport wat afgedwing word. Ons is die lagwekkende plek van die wêreld as gevolg van dit. En dan is dit die grants wat toegeken word, waar dogters swanger raak, met families begin, dat voor sy 18 is, het sy 4 kinders alreeds. Die staat gee hulle 'n grant om nog kinders te hê waarvoor daar nie werk is nie. En as ons vat besighede wat toegemaak het as gevolg van BEE, hoe die staat sy eie belastinginkomste ondermyn het en geërodeer het. Baie dankie.
Thank you.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gideon Pinaar, and I'm here today to defend myself, my family, my friends, and my colleagues. And I'm here to categorically say that I am against this draconic law, this draconic act of expropriation without compensation. For the past almost 30 years, we've witnessed the ANC's ineptitude and corruption. We've seen ministers being moved from pillar to post into new positions where they can't do what they're supposed to be doing, and it turned out to be a big mess. I'm completely against the concept of expropriation without compensation. We've seen what happened to affirmative action, where people got jobs and they were placed into positions for which they were not competent. And we've seen the horrible effect that this has had on our country's economy. Another joke is BEE. It's a big mess, where companies are forced to have directors who are not contributing towards the company, or the economy, or the improvement of our country. In fact, this expropriation bill is very similar to the quota system in sport, which has turned us into the laughingstock of the world. And then if we look at grants, that's just as silly. There are girls getting pregnant. There are girls, in fact, who before the age of 18 already has 4 kids, simply because each kid represents a grant. There are businesses that have closed due to BEE, and the state, through this process, has only managed to diminish their own income.
Goeiemôre dames en here, ek is Mywes de Tooy, 46 jaar inwoner van Kathu. Ek is hier om dit duidelik te maak dat ek teen dit gekant is as onteiening sonder vergoeding. Ek het empatie en simpatie met mense wat swaar kry. Ek ken swaar kry. Ek ken dit om honger te gaan slaap en niks te hê nie. Ek het gesoek vir geleenthede, dit aangegryp en opgebou dit wat ek vandag het. Hoe kan ek toelaat dat dit sommer net van my weggeneem word? Ek het bymekaar gemaak vir my ou dag, vir my kinders en my kleinkinders. Dan ook, ons lewe dan klaar in 'n land van chaos met vrees. Hierdie onteiening sonder vergoeding veroorsaak dat ons in groter vrees lewe, want die bietjie veiligheid en sekuriteit wat ons het, gaan nou van ons weggeneem word. Daarom wil ek dit weer benadruk. Ek is totaal en geheel en al gekant teen dit. Dankie.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mavis de Tooy. I have been a resident of Kathu for 46 years. And I would like to express it very clearly that I am opposed to this bill of expropriation without compensation. Believe me, I have a lot of empathy and a lot of sympathy. I know what it's like to have nothing, to go to bed hungry and wake up hungry. However, I made sure that I looked for opportunities, worked hard and grew, and made sure that I have made provision for my retirement to take care of my children and my grandchildren. We already live in a country of fear, or we already live in fear in this country. Now, the little bit of safety and security we have in what we own and what we've worked for is being placed in danger. I really need to express this very clearly. I am totally opposed to this bill.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I've been listening to some of the remarks here and some of the comments and some of the objections. And I understand most of them, and I agree with most of them. I oppose this law. And I want to express myself as follows. This law will turn this country into a cow, not to farm with, but to cut a steak from when you need a steak. Eventually, you must either slaughter the cow entirely, or the cow is going to die under your hands, and you'll have a heap of rotten meat. You're taking this country down the drain with this law. The government owns enough land to give the people who want land what they need. Take note, what they need, not what they want. That's all I wish to say. I oppose this law. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have your number for record purposes. Your name?
My name, sorry, Johan Kotze. Is that all? Thank you.
Yes.
Dumelang bagaetsho. Leina la me ke nna o bakeng Ditlhare Modise. Ke tswa mo lehatsing le lengwe le le gaufi le Kathu, about 20 kilometers from here. Batho ba lehatsi le ke batho ba mbatswa ko Gatlosi. Batho ba rona ba tsetswe lehatsi nako ele ka 1976. Ka 2010 re hilwe lehatsi lone le ke buang ka lone from about 20 kilometers from here, Babathasi. Go utlwisa botlhoko gore puso e ne be ne tsile lehatsi about 100,000 hectares. Baba gona not even a quarter of the land e ba itseileng mo go nyena. Ha o tswa hawa gape ba go ne lehatsi, the same government gape ba batle go le tsaya mo go wena. As we speak right now, from Kathu how we are to that place of Babathasi, on the farm before you reach Babathasi, tse di ownwang ke batho ba sweu. Municipality as we speak right now, Gamagara, Haretenya, what a harass. o tlogetse those places tseo di ownwang ke batho ba shweu from here to there ba latela rona lehatshe le le goreng ebile le puso ga ya lena not even a quarter lehatshe le ba le tsedi mo go rona. So I oppose mo billing.
Good morning. My name is Obakeng Mudise from nearby here in the area of Kathu. And then I want to pass on to my greetings to the Parliament and honorable members here before us. And I am a member of the group of people that come from Kathosi. And what has happened in the course of time is that in 1976, this group of people that I'm making reference to have had land expropriated from them. And then in the year 2010, we were given the land, which is about 20 kilometers from here. But now the very sad thing and the sad course of events is that the government has about hundreds and thousands of hectares of land, but they just cannot even give us just a quarter of it. So it is a problem that they hold on to the land that we so much need, and sometimes they give you land, and the next thing is they themselves turn around and want to expropriate the land from you again. So we don't know exactly why should things continue to happen in this way. So in Kathu, there is obviously a big farm. The municipality, Hamahara, right now what it is doing is that it is harassing us, the blacks. They leave people who have land, the whites. We leave them alone, and then they come to us to want to expropriate whatever land we have. And for this reason, I oppose the bill.
Ereki dumedi. Ereki dumedi se batlotlegi ba ka motsatsing la gompieno ka gore fa tšhono e go tla go ntsha maikutlo a rona mabapi le molawana o wa section 25. Sa ntlha ke re yo buang o ke councillor Boitumelo Sepego mo Gamagara local municipality. Se ntlha se ke ka se buang ke gore ke kgatlhanong le molawana o wa go fetola section 25. Ga nkitla re na ya puso gore e tlo go ona sengwe sa or e ne the custodian of everything. Sa ntlha ba gaetsho re tshwana ke gore re boele mo morago nyana re ithute dilo tsengwe tse gore puso e tla ka tsone mo go rona. Puso e tla ka ntlhangwe e re ke RDP, Reconstruction Development Plan. Policy o ba gaetsho e feitse one ma Africa Borwa a tletseng fonega ka ntlha gore policy e na re tla re ha motlakase mahala, e tla re ha metsi mahala, e tla re ha eng mahala. Dilo tsewa ga di diragale matlo a RDP a agilwe batho ba palwa ke go newa di title deed. Yaanong puso gape e tla ka lenane le lengwe gape gore ba ne thata ka ga jalo ke re I'm against this bill, I oppose it. Amen.
Greetings. I would like to greet the honorable members of the parliament. My name is Tumelo Sepego. I would like to say I am against the bill. We were not, I would like to say the land was taken from us. We were not given whatever that was promised to us. If we can just go back a little bit, we were promised the RDP houses. But honestly speaking, on the RDP houses, we were not given water, we were not given electricity, even we did not even get the title deed of the RDP houses. Therefore, I would like to say I am against the bill and I do oppose the bill. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Henny Fourie. I'm here to represent myself particularly, but also the wider community of Kathu in the Northern Cape. This bill needs to be opposed in the strongest matter possible. It is an abomination of the will of the land, of any democracy anywhere in the world, that your property rights needs to be infringed like that. We all know by now that what politicians are trying to do is to mask their previous mistakes and massive failures to the end where we are almost a failed state, and now it's just the next step of going full-blown socialist, communist, populist measures to stay in power. It's never worked anywhere in the world. It will not work here. I do not own land, I own a house. We all know that Section 25 is for all property, not just land. What you want to do is to come after all our property. It was made clear by the EFF and the left-wing cronies of the EFF who is in the ANC that what you really want to do is to be the custodians of all property. And in the end, you will decide. And over the last 3 decades, we know what happens when government is in charge of anything, leave alone the massive responsibility of managing land. You will corrupt it, you will impoverish our citizens, and it will come to nothing. Ladies and gentlemen of the Parliamentary Committee, I oppose this bill, and I oppose any changes to Section 25. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Anna-Marie Gaetsewe. I'm here to represent myself in personal capacity, but also as representative of all the residents of Kathu. I'm here to make certain I oppose the bill, Section 25. There is so many reasons, but I think the biggest reason is the corruption in our country. There is no way that this bill can pass in a proper way. It has been shown over and over in Kathu, Babatas that's been named, Gaetsewe that has been named. So I just want to make sure I oppose this bill. Thank you.
Dumelang bagaetsho. O buang ha yo ke Nelly Mtuedwa. Mntuyedwa, MNTUYEDWA is my surname. Ke tla ke dumedise ba go tswa ko parlamenteng le botlhe le baagi ba mo JTG. Ke ema jana bagaetsho, ke ema ka tshwenyego, ke ema ke tshwenyegile tota, ke ema ke utlwile botlhoko tota go bua nnete. Segolo yang ha ke ntse ke dutse ha le ke utlwa dibui tse di ntseng di bua. Batho ba ba reng lehatshe ke la bone, ba na le lehatshe, ba na le dipleke tsa bone bo dipolasi bo eng. Ke utlwiswa botlhoko ke gore rona ba bangwe, segolo yang rona batho ba bantsho, re tseetswe mahatshe mo nakong ya puso e tse di hitileng. Puso tse le tsa tshotlo tsele ke Bay Street mo bagolong ba rona. Utata rona mogolo ba ba tsamaileng. Ke tle ke re sa ntlha ke re ke supporta se parlamente ya rona e tleng ka sone sa gore molao o wa Section 25 o hetolwe o diriwe ka mokgwa mongwe go tle go tsewe dithuto ntle le go duela. Ke buisiwa ke lebaka la gore ke a utlwa batho ba re bone ba duetse madi a mantsi ba ka se ke ba tseelwe dilo tsa bone. Mare ke ipotsa gore a ba na le bopaki jo ka gore mo nako e hitileng ha re utlwa bo utata rona go tsewa lehatshe hela ka lebaka la gore ba kgerisiwa ba toa go tetšwang mo lehatsheng ba tseelwa lehatshe. Ke tswe ha wa yaanong ke bue ka ntlha ya gore e re ko ha lo ntse lo le go gone molao lo sekaseka ha lo tlile go tla go tsaya maikutlo a rona lo shebe gape le mo dimasepaleng tsa rona bagolo go tswa ko parlamente lo shebe mo dimasepaleng tsa rona le tsone dimasepala tsa rona tota go bua nnete le tsone di a re harasa ga lo utlwa ke tshimolola ke re ke utlwa botlhoko ka lebaka la gore ke bua jaaka motho a eme ga jaana mo lehatsing la boutata bone mogolo ba tseetswe lehatshe ba le tseetswe ke masepala ke bua ka masepala wa ga Segonyana ke be ke bua gape ke le councilor teng ko masepaleng wa ga Segonyana ke bua ka lehatshe la rona la Oudikgweng ke tswa ko Oudikgweng ke tsalwa teng ko wa ke tlhoga teng ko Oudikgweng re ne ilwe lehatshe ka 2008 lehatshe le le kana ka 1080 hectares mara lehatshe le wa ile lehatshe le le tonna tota go ya ka bagolo ba rena ba ne ba nna mo go lone se le ba hodisiwa mo go lone ka 1953 ba tswa mo go lone gone yaanong ya ka ke rora ke eme ha yana re ko khoto ko high court ko Kimberley re seka lehatshe le masepala wa ga Segonyana ba re tseetse lehatshe di hectares tse dingwe tsa rona hela mo go 1080 hectares ewa gape ba tseile mo teng gape ba re ke lehatshe la bone ba ba re tsaya ka ba itse rena rena madi masepala eno na le madi ba re isa ko ba re isa high court so re a seka le bone ka di 5 tsa November re tla be re ya high court so ba ga itse ke kopa gore dio tse dintseng ya le tsone lo di shebe skola shebela ka batho ba sho gore ba re tseetse lehatshe le di masepala ka le di shebe le ko
Your
province.
time is up, ma'am. Thank you. If you can just give him the mic. Oh, okay.
I would like to greet everyone in the hall and the honorable members of the parliament. My name is Mary Mutivielo. Sorry about that. I'm concerned, really, above everything. I'm concerned and I'm hurt. I'm hurt about the fact that I've been listening to speakers who were speaking here. They were busy telling us that they have land. But some of us, we have nothing. We don't have anything. And another thing, if we can just go back a little bit, I'm also heard about the fact that land was taken from our elders in the time of apartheid. Therefore, I would like to say I support what the government say about the land expropriation bill. Because people who have been speaking here, we are not sure if they were paid. We haven't seen the payment, we did not see the money. So please, as well, the parliament, we plead with you to look at the municipality as they harass us. They take land from us. Because we don't have money, we go to court with the municipality on the land issue. But because we don't have money, we obviously would not win the case. Therefore, I would like to say, also please do look on that matter. Also do look on the municipality as they also take land from us. Thank you.
Goeiemôre, my naam is Johan Smit. Ek wil net sê ek is ten sterkste gekant teen hierdie beoogde wysiging van die wet. Daar is baie ander maniere wat eers nagevolg of opgevolg of ondersoek moet word voordat ons na die onteiening sonder vergoeding stasie toe oorgaan. Baie dankie.
Good morning, my name is Johan Smit, and I would just like to say that I am very strongly opposed to this new law, and I would just like to state that there must be other ways to look into, to investigate, to consider before considering expropriation without compensation.
Ke rata go dumedisa batho botlhe. Leina la ka ke Pinky Barnett. Ke eme mo go opposa molao o. Ka lebaka la gore rona mo re dulang teng mahatshe a rona tla ra gana value. Ke so se tshwantse re ka be re se shebisisa gona no gore mahatshe a e leng gore a teng a senang value goreng so nna ke kgatlhanong thata le molao o.
Sorry, ba ke kopa lebitso, Lina. Sorry. Pinky Bartman, eh? Barnes. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, Pinky. I want to say my greetings to everybody, and in short, in a nutshell, I oppose the bill. And then the reason is that the lands on which we already are living in have no value. So there is no point in us maybe having to lose them. They don't have any value. So we would like to seriously oppose the bill and have this matter be seriously looked into, because there's no point. Thank you.
Can I talk? Good morning. All protocol observed. I'm going to cut it to the chase. My name is Ulrich Matibe. I'm standing here to express my very deep doubt. You know, nowadays, our democratic government, anything and everything it touches turns into broken, wasted, missing. So that's that. Nothing survives anything that we give into the hands of our democratic government. So there is no way that we can still give anything to our government. Just look, for example, at the state-owned enterprises. Before 1994, they were in such a healthy state of health. But where are they now? And I know we have over 700 of them. But the most important ones, you know, your ESCOMs and PRASAs and all of those, they are all either missing or they are in, you can't talk about them. So this thing of giving land into the hands of government, it's not going to work for the majority of people. Take, for example, nowadays our government, a simple thing as food parcels worth 300 rands, it's only a limited number of people who have access to those. The majority of them, you don't. So if someone does not give you 300 rands worth of thing, and then what about a piece of land worth $1 million for you to do farming on? Government, you will have to make an application to make use of that piece of land worth $1 million or that sort. They will not give it to you. I mean, they can hardly give you something worth 250 rands. Look, take for example, this model that we are contemplating. In Zimbabwe, Mugabe took land from whoever he took them from. The next thing, when he died, on his name, he had 13 massive farms on his name. Farms that he was supposed to hold on behalf of the population of Zimbabwe. His wife, Grace, had 9 massive farms. So what's that? Really? No, it will not work. This thing of things getting given to government, our government has proven it's almost 30 years now, and we are sure that there is nothing which this government touches and that thing survives. Everything, as I say, missing, damaged, broken, but you can't. Corruption is so strong, so much, it is a culture. There is no way our land will survive corruption and all of these other negative things. What government is supposed to be doing is to look at your macroeconomic fundamentals, get them right, and every other thing will fall into place. So, in conclusion, I oppose this thing. I say government must carry on with Section 25 as it is and do that which it's supposed to do. Thank you.
Thank you to all our presenters. There were hands on this side. Yes, we'll start with this side. You must come to this row. We're starting with this side, please. Please come to the row. No, we're referring to you. Yes.
Ons praat met julle asseblief, kom na die middel.
First sit in the city, they're going to write your name.
Sit asseblief eers, hulle sal die naam neem.
So, in the absence of Is the absence of any other hands from this side?
As daar nie ander hande van hierdie kant af is nie?
Okay, please,
Wanneer daar
please
is?
join, yeah. Okay, and then this side,
En hierdie kant?
yeah. How many do we need?
Hoeveel het ons nodig?
Just join the list. We're dealing with this row. Please join the list. Those who would like to speak from this row.
Ons is net besig met hierdie ry.
Madam, can you please join this side?
Dame,
You,
kan jy asseblief daar aansluit?
Sorry, can you, yeah, join this side?
Ja, daar so asseblief.
That row. We want, yeah. Yeah, because this is the last round. Can you come to this
Hierdie
row?
is die laaste ronde van
This row?
toesprake.
This row.
Gaan
Those who would
asseblief na
like to
hierdie ry
speak?
toe. Die wat wil
Ja.
praat, kom na hierdie ry asseblief.
How many more that are not accommodated?
Hoeveel is daar nog nie geakkommodeer is nie?
Okay, how many? 5, ne?
5.
Can we accommodate them here, these 5?
Kan ons hulle hier akkommodeer?
There's a bag there, can we remove it and put it in another
Daar's 'n
seat?
sak, vat hom net asseblief weg.
The ones that are not going to speak, can you please shift?
Die wat
The
almal
ones
gaan
that are
praat.
not going to speak, can you please shift from the seats that we are allocating for those that would like to speak?
Die wat nie gaan praat nie, sal jy asseblief oorskuif na die ander kant van die saal?
This is the very last row.
Hierdie is die heel laaste ry.
Okay, thank you. Just a reminder,
Net 'n
it's
herinnering asseblief.
only 3 minutes that you are given.
Jy kry net 3 minute.
You state your views.
Jy stel jou opinies
Either you're supporting the bill or you are opposing the bill.
deur die wetsontwerp te ondersteun of te verwerp
And the reasons, of course.
en natuurlik met redes.
Free to speak in any of the 11 official languages.
Jy kan praat in enige van die 11 amptelike landstale.
Can our security sort out the issue outside? Because this is the very, very, very last round that we'll be taking. Apparently there are people that are still want to talk that are outside. Can someone check that?
Kan sekuriteit net asseblief die situasie buitekant uitsorteer? Want
Three.
hierdie is ons laaste ronde en daar is nog mense wat wil praat, maar asseblief sekuriteit spreek dit net aan asseblief.
3 minutes.
Onthou net 3 minute.
And one thing that we won't do is to allow someone who has already spoken to speak. If there's any, we ask that person to go. You speak once, we hear your views, we are noting. The camera that you can see is from the parliament. They are also recording what you want to speak. So please don't speak and come again to speak and come again to speak. We are noting all of yours. Thank you.
Ons wil net seker maak asseblief net elke persoon mag net een spreekbeurt kry. Moenie inkom en uitgaan
If
nie.
you are going to speak, can you please join that row there?
As jy wil praat asseblief
Can our
sluit aan by daardie ry.
security show them the row? Thank you. They have to go through the protocols of registering, taking temperatures, and all that. Can
Goeiedag, ekskuus. Sorry. Goeiedag, ek is Annemie Fourie en ek is sterk gekant teen die beoogde wysiging. My rede is dat eiendomsreg is die basis van ekonomiese groei. So ons moet dink aan ons land. Dankie.
Good morning. My name is Annemie Fourie. I am strongly opposed to this bill as property ownership forms the basis of a country's strong economy. Thank you.
Goedemiddag.
excuse me. The reason why we are saying this is the last row, remember, according to health protocols, there are stipulated times to have meetings. You must not exceed a certain time, and that is why we're changing others to come in, others to go out. So at some point we have to stop. But all those that are inside, they will be allowed to speak. And we want all those that would like to speak to join this site.
Ons wil net almal herinner dan dat daar is gesondheidsprotokol wat gevolg moet word met betrekking tot hoe lank 'n vergadering mag duur. En dit is hoekom ons gesê het hierdie is die laaste ronde van van voorleggings. Maar die wat reeds in is, gaan hulle voorlegging kan gee. Ek vra net dat almal wat gaan praat, asseblief skuif oor na daardie kant van die saal.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Goedemiddag, ek is Anneliese Koukroft. Ek wil net vir julle sê, ek is totaal en al gekant teen die verandering van seksie 25. Daar is genoeg staat-eiendomme beskikbaar en so ek sê nee daarvoor en kyk net reeds wat het met die staatseiendomme gebeur. Kyk hoe lyk Kajapil van ons in ons eie dorp. En die staat kan nie eers dit onderhou nie en dan wil ek ook weet, die persoon wat byvoorbeeld my eiendom gaan oorneem, gaan hy ook my skuld en my paemente saam met dit oorvat, want dit het my geld gekos om hom te kry. En dit kos my elke maand nog steeds geld om hom te onderhou. Dankie.
Good morning, my name is Anneliese Kakroft, and I would just like to point out that I'm completely against this bill, against section 25 being amended. There's more than enough state-owned land to be distributed, and quite frankly, just look at our roads. The state can't even manage that. They can't maintain that. And something else I'd like to know is, the person who takes over my property, does he also take over my debt, my monthly payments? So, no, I would like to point out that I'm categorically against this.
Argument mahol, uangati Ephraim Nengami. Ephraim Nengami. Mahol pusho aya kani motho kwa ka molao ka kango wa section 25. Gona le matsapa a mantsi a diragala mo ntlheng e. Batho ba ba itekanetseng ba itekanela go apele. Batho ba ba humanegileng ba humanegela go apele. A puso e focus mo dilong tse dingwe tsa go tshwana le batho pele. Ditsela tsa rona ga di tsege ga ka ke re nna ko magaeng a harologaneng ditsela tsa rona ga di tsege gotlhelele ditirelo ga di fitlhe ko go rona re ntse re akantshana mo melaotlhomong melao go tsaya mafatshe Mapasa gare berekele ka sepe. Gare berekele le gope go na le ko bohelelong matsha a rona a tla ba tseilwe ke baeng. Baeng. Ke a leboha.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Ephraim Mehame. I would really encourage and say that the government must try and improve the bill because of all the problems that have happened in the past. For an example, right now, what I would just like to say is that this is the situation. The true situation is that the rich are getting richer and then the poor are getting poorer. Where is it that is the slogan of Batupili? Is this really being considered? Where we live, again, as someone had already said earlier, is that we are living in the lands that are having no value already. Bad conditions, bad roads. We live in rurals, there are no services. So the land, in other ways, which we are occupying now, is not benefiting us already with anything at all. So let the government make some improvements to the bill, and if no improvements, then we do oppose it. Thank you.
Goeiemôre, my naam is Corrie van Rensburg. Ek bly al 42 jaar in Kathu. Ek wil net sê, ek stem nie saam met hierdie regulasie 25 van die wet nie. Daar is meer gronde. Ek vat 'n voorbeeld. Ons is 1966 is ons uit Botswana uit kan amper sê verjaag. Ons het daar geboer. Vandag mag ons nie ons voorouers se grafte gaan besoek eers daar nie. Jy mag nie daar kom en jy moet by die kaptein moet jy toestemming kry en hy weier dit vir jou. Dit gaan in die land net soos dit wil. Dankie meneer.
Good morning. My name is Corrie van Rensburg. I have been a resident of Kathu for the past 42 years. And I would like to just say that I do not agree with these regulations. There is more than enough land. To give you an example of what's going on, in 1966 we used to stay in Botswana, and one could almost say that we were chased away or chased out of this area, and at this point we can't even visit the graves of relatives. We would need to ask the chief for permission, which is often denied. This country has become a free-for-all, and really we can't agree with this bill.
Goeiedag allemaal. Het is een mooie dag. Nou voor mij als een Khoisan steun ek oneiming. Die rede daarvoor wat ek hem steun is, as sou ons van die begin af die ander een langs jou gesien het as 'n mens, dan sou ons nie vandag in hierdie probleem gesit het nie. Ons sou almal wel afgewees het in hierdie land van ons. Ons is nie bedreiging as jy sê jy steun die grondomening nie. Ons wil ook maar net lewe. Ons wil ook maar net die stad se probleem verlig. Van as ek 'n land het my agterklinke dis nie nodig om R350 by die stad te kry nie. Van ek kan self vir my kleinkinders sorg. Ek praat uit ondervinding uit. Ek wil net vir julle net so 'n bietjie inlig. My pa het 40 jaar op 'n plaas gewerk. Sou die eienaar hom in ag geneem het die landsan en hom ook saamgevat het in die lewe. Dan sou ek nie vandag met my pa in 'n singhuis langs my RDP huis gesit het nie. So ons moet nie net Ons moet nie net negatiewe kant toe gaan nie. Ons is nie rowers nie. Ons soek net 'n stukkie grond om ook te lewe en ons agterkleinkinders ook eendag kan lewe. Dis al wat ons soek. As jy nou in die Noord-Kaap gaan kyk hoeveel swart boere is daar, hoeveel bruin boere is daar. Daar's niks. Ons wil ook maar net saamgevat wees. Soos jy teruggaan na jou plaas, toe vat jou plaasboy saam met jou. Maar nie in 'n 3 meter by 3 meter huis laat bly nie, en daarvan af kom smeer jy hom af by government, en dan wil jy vir government skuld gee nie. Kom ons werk net saam. Ons vat saam mekaar in hierdie land, en ons sal iewers uitkom. Vir my is 'n Khoisan, ek is nie kleerling, ek is 'n Khoisan, en ek voel, as ons mekaar respekteer in hierdie land, dan sal ons hierdie land wen. Baie dankie.
Good day, everyone. It's a nice day today. For me, I'd like to say today that I'm a Khoisan. And if, right from the start, you looked at the person next to you and saw them as a person and regarded them as a human being, things today would have been much, much different. We might even have all been wealthy. You see, we want to live. We want to alleviate the problems of the state. I want to be able to take care of my kids and my grandchildren. You know, for 40 years, my father worked on a farm. And to be honest, if the farmer took care of my father and took him with on this journey of wealth, I wouldn't be in an RDP house next to a shack where my family live. I want some land to live for myself, but for my kids, for my grandchildren. All we're asking for is to be taken along. So if you go back to your farm right now, go to your worker, take his hand, and take him with you. I'm not a colored. I'm a Khoisan. And what I'm asking you is respect your fellow human beings, because that's the way we'll win.
Goeiedag, my naam is Surai Dievenage. Dankie. Goeiedag, my naam is Surai Dievenage. En ek is vandag hier om te sê dat ek gekant is teen die verandering van artikel 25 van die grondwet. Ek voel dat wanneer jy werk vir dit wat jy het, of dit wat jy besit, en dan kyk 'n mens soveel beter daarna, as wat jy dit net gekry het. So ek voel dat die staat in sy huidige toestand nie behoorlik na sy eiendom kan omsien nie. So ja, ek's gekant daarteen. Dankie.
Good morning, good day. My name is Surai Dievenage. I would just like to say that I am opposed to the changes proposed to be made to Article or Section 25 of the Constitution. I feel that if one works for what you have, you take better care of it. And however, I think government is not able to look after what they already have. So, thank you very much.
Goedemiddag, ek is Jandrie Jonker. My siening is dat die grondwet van Suid-Afrika geskryf is om te verseker dat alle Suid-Afrikaners die reg het om regverdig en gelyk hanteer te word. Om onteiening sonder vergoeding toe te laat, kan op geen wyse as regverdig gesien word nie. Ek is dus totaal en al gekant teen die wysiging van artikel 25 van die grondwet. Baie dankie.
Morning. I'm Andre Jonker, and I believe that the Constitution of South Africa is there to ensure that everyone has the right to fairness and equality. And expropriation without compensation is in no way fair and equal, and it doesn't support fairness and equality. Therefore, I am opposed to any amendments to the current Section 25 of the Constitution.
Goeiemiddag, ek is Petro de Klerk. Ek is teen die voorgenome wetsontwerp vir grondonteiening. Ek voel my eiendom is my eiendom en die staat moet nie my eiendom kom vat nie. Ons het deur die jare baie hard gewerk om ons grond en ons eiendom te kry en om 'n neseiertjie op te bou vir ons. Die staat het 'n klomp geld wat hulle van hulle eie, wat hulle eerder kan gebruik. En ons wil nie lewenslang huurders op ons plase wees nie. Ek wil net weet, as daar nog lenings op enige van ons eiendomme is, wie gaan dit vir ons betaal? Ek of die staat? En ons plase is nie verniet gekry nie. 'n Plaas moet bedryf word met baie geld. Waar gaan dit vandaan kom? En daar moet kennis wees om 'n plaas te bedryf. En ek voel ook dis teen ons menseregte om dit te wil vat van ons af. En daarom stem ek nee vir hierdie wetsontwerp. Baie dankie.
Good day. My name is Petro de Klerk, and I would just like to say that I am against this bill for expropriation. I feel that what is mine, and the state cannot just take what is mine. We've worked hard to get what we have and to build up a nest egg for ourselves, and the state has funds. They have much more than we do to procure what they need. And we do not want to be lifelong tenants on our own property. Then I would also just like to inquire, if this does take place and my land is taken from me, who will pay the loans that exist on this property? Will it still be my responsibility, or will the state take over that responsibility? We did not get our farms for free. And to work on a farm and to make agriculture work takes a lot of money and a lot of skills to be able to make a success of it. I lastly would like to say again, I oppose this bill, and that it would actually infringe on human rights. Thank you very much.
Dames en heren, my geleerde vriende daarbo, collega's en vriende hier agter, ek praat namens myself, ek is Nico Smit, maar ek praat ook namens alle ingeligte en ook ingeligte burgers van ons land. Ek praat ook namens Agri Kuruman en Wind en Landbouvereniging. Agri Kuruman ondersteun 'n ordelike grondhervormings- en transformasieproses, mits dit regverdig geskied en voedselsekerheid en eiendomsreg nie beïnvloed word nie. Verder meer, Agri Kuruman stem saam met die internasionale mening dat waar eiendomsreg beskerm word, vinnige ekonomiese groei plaasvind en dit verseker dan voedselsekerheid. Vergoeding moet nie beïnvloed word deur die staat se wil en sy vermoë om nie te betaal nie. Die huidige grondwet maak voorsiening vir die onteiening en daarom is dit nie nodig dat die grondwet verander nie. Onteiening word as 'n groot struikelblok gesien om verder ekonomiese beleggings en investering te bevorder, wat enorme ekonomiese gevolge vir die land kan inhou. Buitelandse beleggers is al reeds besig om te onttrek. Finansiële instansies sal herbesin oor hulle blootstelling aan die risiko verbonde aan krediet en aan die landbousektor wat afhanklik is van produksielenings. Die definisie van onteiening se bewoording is baie wyd en die duidelikheid oor wat alles en watter tipe grond onteien kan word is nog baie onduidelik. Miskien wil ek net afsluit deur te sê, sodra mens jou regte begin verloor, soos in hierdie eiendomsreg. Ek weet nie of ons almal besef nie, as ek dink aan die vorige sprekers, sodra jou eiendomsreg begin verloor, jou regte begin verloor, weet ons waarvan praat ons? Hoekom sit ons hierso? Moet ons nie almal sê nee? Ons besef waarheen is ons op pad nie. Sodra jy jou reg verloor het, watter reg hou jy oor? So, miskien moet ons dan net dink daaraan. Kom ons doen wat reg is, in plaas van wat gewild is, wat vir my lyk op die oomblik aan die orde van die dag is. Baie dankie.
Good day, my learned friends, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Enku Smith, and I'm speaking here on behalf of myself and Agri Kuruman. And I'd like to point out that we actually support a process of transformation as long as food security is ensured, and that it's stable, and that it's viable, and as long as compensation is not influenced. At the current moment, as it is today, the Constitution does make provision for expropriation, and that shouldn't change, therefore, because it could have some significant and dire implications. As we've seen, foreign investors have already pulled out, and this could also lead to enormous problems for financial institutions. One of the problems with the current proposed amendments is the problem that the definitions are not clear. What exactly is property? How can it be expropriated? And these things need to be defined better. And I want to echo what some of the previous speakers have said, that it seems that we are losing our rights. And if we are losing our rights, why are we even here? Why aren't we shouting no? If we keep on losing our rights, what rights will we eventually manage to be able to keep? So I urge you, let's do what is right and not what is popular.
Goeiemôre, ek is Andries Koeman. Ek verteenwoordig myself, my gemeenskap, die mense van Kathu en ook my familie. Ek kan nie saamstem met wat op die huidige stadium in proses is of wat hulle wil laat gebeur nie. Ons families het hard gewerk vir wat ons het, ons het hard gewerk vir ons plase, dis ons trots. Dis waartoe ons gaan as 'n familie om by mekaar te kom. En ons kan nie sien hoe word dit weggevat uit ons hande uit, sonder dat ons vergoeding kry nie. Alles op die stadium wat in ons die hande van die staat is, brandweere, grond, parke, is tot niet. Daar's niks oor nie. Wat gaan van ons grond word? Waar gaan ons heen? Waar gaan ons mense heen? Waar gaan ons kos kry? So my punt wat ek wil maak is, ek stem nie saam nie, ek stem glad nie saam met wat hulle wil doen nie. Baie dankie.
Good afternoon. My name is Andries Koeman. I'm here to represent myself, my family, the community of Kathu. And I have to say that I cannot agree with this process that is occurring. We have worked hard for what we have, and having a farm or having our land, it is our pride. It is a place for us as families to get together and work together. If we look at all the properties owned by the state, they are run to the ground. And if this is going to continue, where are we going to go? where will our food security come from? And for that reason, I cannot agree with this proposed bill. Thank you.
Just before we allow him, can then this group comes here?
Net voordat ons hom toelaat, kan die res van die mense asseblief na die middel toe kom?
Yes, yeah. And even to those that have just come in, only 3 minutes, we stop you. At some stage, please, our security, we need to close the meeting. At some stage, we need to close the meeting. Just to remind you, according to the COVID-19 health protocols, we can have meetings or events exceeding 2 hours. We have exceeded 2 hours, but because we all want you to express your views, we are allowing you. But can we then, please, those that are by the door, tell our team to stop registering anyone now. Please do that. Oh, thank you.
Ons wil net almal daaraan herinner dat u slegs 3 minute het om uw toespraak te lewer en dit mag dalk wees dat op 'n stadium ons hierdie vergadering gaan tot 'n stop moet roep, want daar is protokolle in plek wat vereis dat 'n vergadering tegnies nie langer as 2 ure kan aanhou nie, maar ons wil graag u inset hê en ons wil hoor wat u opinies is. Daarom gaan ons voort, maar asseblief die mense daarso buitekant, moenie meer mense registreer om in te kom nie, ons kan eenvoudig nie so aangaan nie.
Goedemiddag, mijn naam is James Boucher en ik vertegenwoordig mezelf hier zo. Ik heb hier een plaats, mijn pa heeft ook hier een plaats gehad, nie. Mijn opa heeft ook hier een plaats gehad. Nie. So ik heb niks wat ik hier wil verdedigen. En die staanspoor wil ik zeggen, ik is tegen hierdie wetgeving wat in verband met onteigening sonder vergoeding. Je weet, ik heb nog groot geword in een shanty. Alle jaren, ons was 11 kinders. Mijn pa het voor ons, hij het die huis kort gedoen, zodat ik geleerdheid kan krijgen. En zo het ik mijn eigendom opgebouwd. In fact, ik bouw nou nog aan mijn huis. En nou, om dit toe te laten dat het net komt gevat wordt, zonder vergoeding. Hy kona, dit kan niet gebeuren nie. Je weet wat gebeurt, daar waar ik vandaan kom. Die municipaliteit laat die mensen toe om hulle se erwe te vergroot naar die teerpad toe. Wat is die oorzaak nou? Wat is die naderij daarvan? Die pad wordt klein, moord gaan plaatsvinden, want ongelukken gaan nou plaatsvinden. Want die mensen moeten nou teen die draden op die teerpad loop. Hierdie is een mes. As hierdie wet moet verander word, sal dit 'n groot gemors wees. So ek stem teen hierdie verandering. Jy weet wat gebeur? Die oprigting van hierdie shanties, die raadslede het groot stukke grond, bou vir hulle huise daarop wat hulle verhuur. Want hulle mag mos nog grond vat sonder vergoeding. So ek sê, ek is teen onteiening sonder vergoeding. Baie dankie.
Hello, I'm James Boucher, and I'm here to represent myself. I'd like to point out that I don't have a farm, and neither does my dad, and neither does my grandfather. So I don't really have anything to defend here like many of you do. But I would like to state that I'm against expropriation without compensation. I remember when I grew up, my parents took care of us children. And my dad often had to sacrifice many things to do with the house and the household in order for me to get an education. But I learned how to build. And I built a house. And in fact, I am still building my house today. And now, government wants to come and take my house away from me? No. A municipality allows for strange things. Properties are now apparently allowed to extend right up to the tar road. And this is going to lead to a lot of deaths, because now the pedestrians have to walk in the tar road, and there's a high potential for accidents. This bill is a big mess. I am very much against expropriation. And if you look around, there are councillors earlier in the 70s who, earlier in time, who have these big houses because they have big land. And what do they do with it? They rent it out. Why? Because they can take land. It's theirs to take. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am very much opposed to expropriation without compensation.
Goeiemiddag, ek is Herman Espach. Ek verteenwoordig my gemeenskap in die Kalahari en dit beteken alle mense in die Kalahari. Ek verteenwoordig ook my maatskappy wat internasionale belange het en wat wil uitbrei of wou uitbrei in hierdie pragtige land wat ons noem Suid-Afrika. Die laaste 2 jaar het ons met beleggers gepraat van Australië, Kanada en Amerika, wat op groot skaal wou belê het in hierdie land van ons en in hierdie dorp waarin ek vir die afgelope 7 jaar bly. Alles is gekanselleer. Alles is gekanselleer. Honderde werksgeleenthede vir wit en swart is gekanselleer as gevolg van hierdie stupid ding wat julle op die tafel neergegooi het. Julle dink net aan die fat cats. Dit het glad nie te doen oor die swart man of die skleerlingman of die man wat daar agter sit met sy penne. Dit gaan nie oor hulle nie. Dit gaan om die fat cats nog vetter te maak. Dit is die probleem waarmee ons in hierdie land sit. En dis hoekom 'n belegging van 2 biljoen euros uit hierdie land uit is. Ons skuif die hele projek oor Angola toe, wat nie sulke stupidity in hulle breins het om sulke goed voor te stel om die arme man nog armer te maak en die fat cat nog vetter te maak, wat hy naderhand nie eens kan loop nie. So ek is heeltemal teen dit. Ek het gesien hoe plase op Tsanin, teeplase wat miljoene geld werd is, omskep is in mirasies, in 'n kwessie van 6 maande, waar die teeplantasies lyk of dit bloekombome is. So niemand sal my ooit oortuig dat hierdie artikel gaan werk vir ons land nie. Baie dankie.
Good day. My name is Herman Espach. I represent the people of the Kalahari, myself, my company, who has interests in international affairs, which was proposed to expand into South Africa. 2 years ago, there were talks with American, Canadian, and Australian companies for investment in this town, which I have occupied for the past 7 years. And all the work that has gone into this proposed job creation project has been cancelled because of this absolutely stupid bill that was flung onto the table, that was only created to empower and enrichen the fat cats and make them even fatter. That is why a €2 billion contract has been shifted over to Angola, who is not so stupid with bills like this. This bill is intended to make the poor even poorer and the fat cats even fatter to the point where they can't even walk. And I am extremely and totally opposed to this bill. You can look at a farm in Tanin. It was a thriving farm and it has been reduced to rubble. There's nothing left on this farm, and this is an example of what would happen. I cannot be convinced at all that this bill will ever work. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eben Antonissen, and my presentation will be in Afrikaans. I'm actually representing Agri Northern Cape, wat se primêre doel van georganiseerde landbou, kommersiële georganiseerde landbou is, en die se uitgangspunt, die ontwikkeling en die bevordering van die landbousektor met en inteendeel met volhoubare voedselsekerheid. Agri Noord-Kaap ondersteun 'n ordelike grondhervormings- en transformasieproses, mits dit regverdig geskied en voedselsekerheid en eiendomsreg nie beïnvloed word nie. Agri Noord-Kaap glo in die vrye markbeginsels en ekonomiese praktyke wat die ekonomie van die sektor sal laat groei en gelyke geleenthede vir almal sal skep. Agri Noord-Kaap stem saam met internasionale mening dat waar eiendomsreg beskerm word, vind ekonomiese groei plaas en verseker dit volhoubare voedselsekerheid. Verskeie menings en voorbeelde reg oor die wêreld kan hiervan getuig en ook die teendeel kan in ons buurstate gesien word. Vergoeding moet verder ook nie beïnvloed word deur die staat se wil en die staat se vermoë om te kan betaal nie. En die huidige grondwet maak wel voorsiening vir onteiening en is dit juis daarom nie nodig om die grondwet te verander nie. Op internasionale gebiede vind onteiening plaas, maar dit is 'n deursigtige, regverdige en ekonomies volhoubare proses. Onteiening word as 'n groot struikelblok gesien wat verdere ekonomiese beleggings en investering benadeel, wat enorme ekonomiese gevolge vir die land kan inhou, waar buitelandse beleggers juis onttrek. Verder moet finansiële instansies herbesin oor hul blootstelling aan die risiko verbonde aan kredietverlening aan die landbousektor, wat daarvan afhanklik is om produksielenings te bekom, om verdere uitbreidings moontlik te kan maak. Dus sal grond geen waarde hê om as sekuriteit te dien vir landboulenings nie. Die definisie van onteiening se bewoording is baie wyd. Meer duidelikheid oor wat alles en ook watter tipe grond onteien kan word, is broodnodig. Die landbouers van vandag kan nie alleen verantwoordelik gehou word vir die verlede nie, as ook nie die onvermoë van die huidige stelsel om grondhervorming te laat geskied nie. Verder kan die staat ook geen groot ekonomiese verliese ly as gevolg van belastings wat nie geïn kan word nie. Baie landbouers se siening is dat al eers met mense en dan vir die mense werk. Die landbousektor was die ligpunt tydens die moeilike pandemietydperk. En as ons na die meer onlangse verlede kyk, is dit ook een van die eerste sektore wat na die onluste voedsel na die mense geneem het, waar dit werklik nodig was. Ons as landbouers en landbouorganisasies, wat gewone mense is,
I represent Agri Northern Cape, and we are there for the development of the agricultural sector, and we support and we try to maintain food security. And we support a process of development that will ensure property rights and property stability and that will ensure that it would be a viable development. We support the free market system and growth in this sector, and we believe that that could lead to better opportunities. You see, we believe that property rights is something that should be protected, because with that protected, we also have the guarantee of food security and growth. If we just look at our neighboring countries, we can see when this process did not work. We furthermore believe that at the moment, as the Constitution stands, there is provision for expropriation, and thus nothing needs to change. We believe that whatever happens should be a transparent yet viable process, and that expropriation, as it is proposed at the moment, is an obstacle, especially to investments. And as you have seen and heard, that foreign investors are pulling out, and this can cause big problems for our country. Financial institutions are also finding it a very risky endeavor to allow loans where farmland is held as surety, because the reason is that soon land will have no value against loans. And we're also opposing the idea of property as it is defined at the moment. What exactly are these definitions? The definitions are too broad. What types of land, what types of property can be taken? And we also ask to not keep today's farmers accountable for the sins of their potential fathers if we look back in history. They're not responsible for what happened back in the past. You see, we're an organization who says that we should first work with people, then for people. The agricultural community has been a cornerstone for this country during the COVID pandemic times. And after the looting, we were the first ones to distribute food to where it needed to be.
Goeiedag aan almal. Ek is Kielis Lampereg, 'n boer so 90 km hier noord. Ek is aan heel gekant teen die onteieningswet. Enige suksesvolle onderneming moet eiendomsreg hê. Hy moet eiendom besit. Anders gaan hy net afhanklik raak van die staat. Elke land het 'n suksesvolle sakeondernemings en besighede nodig om 'n inkomste vir die staat te genereer. En so kan die staat sy verpligtinge nakom. Ons weet hoe baie verpligtinge ons het in die land. As eiendomsreg weggevat word, sal dit katastrofiese gevolge hê vir ons hele land. Die afhanklikheid van die staat om te voorsien sal nie kan plaasvind soos dit moet nie. Voedsel sal skaars raak. Ons besef nie hoe eintlik is voedsel al klaar skaars. Daar is sekere tye wat mense in supermarkte kom en kry jy net die produkte nie. En ek dink eiendom dit gaan nog 'n groter rol speel as dit weggevat word. Werksgeleenthede weet ons sal verminder. Dit werk maar net oral so waar eiendomsreg in gedrang is. Dit sal lei tot 'n massiewe ineenstorting van die ekonomie. Dit sal baie vinniger gebeur volgens my as wat ons besef. So ek is in totaal geheel en al gekant teen hierdie wetgewing. Baie dankie.
Good day, everyone. My name is Martinez Mathieu. I am a farmer in this area, and I think a lot of success, your key to success is to have property. And if you don't own property, you know, eventually it will go towards depending on the state, and that is not the way to go. If owned property is taken away, we are heading towards a catastrophe. We will not be able to provide as we should, and food security, as we know already, is quite scarce or is being threatened, and it will get even worse. Job opportunities will decrease and probably totally fade away, which will even be worse. Our economy will crumble. That is why I am completely opposed to this bill.
Goeiemôre, raadslede, almal teenwoordig. Ek praat ook namens myself, namens die landbouers in hierdie land, namens ons gemeenskap. Ek bly ook op 'n plaas in die Gamagara distrik. Ek is die 3de generasie op die grond. Van my oupa Grootjie af, my oupa, my pa, en dan het ek ook al grond bygekoop om te verbou, te verbeter, sodat daar grond of sodat daar kos op tafel gesit kan word. Nie net kos nie, maar ook werkskepping. Ons weet almal wat is dit om swaar te kry. Jy's op jouself aangewese om kos op die tafel te sit, om skoolklere te koop, om skoolfondse te betaal. As hierdie wet dan nou vir alle eiendom is, dit waarvoor elkeen hard gewerk het, en die regering vat dit, net om hulle dan nou daardeur self te verryk, waar gaan ons land dan heen gaan? Eiendomse waarde sal tot niet gaan, wat enige land se ekonomie aan die gang hou. Ons as landbouers en landbouorganisasies, wat gewone mense is, kan nie toesien dat die grondwet moet verander, wat tot werksverliese en verarming van die platteland kan lei nie. Gee ons eerder kans om saam na 'n oplossing te soek, en sodoende ons mooi land, wat huidiglik nog selfvoorsienend is, wat voedsel betref, sy grootste bate, naamlik sy mense te voed, en nuwe boere in ekonomiese, selfonderhoudende produsente te laat ontwikkel. So daarom is ons teen hierdie wetsontwerp. Baie dankie.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here representing myself and the agricultural community and the community at large. Now, I live on a farm in the Gamagara district, and I've been here now for some time. I'm one of the 3rd generation people living on this farm, and I myself have bought additional land to improve, in order to put food on the table and also to create jobs. We know what suffering is. We know the struggle of putting food on the table, paying school fees, affording school uniforms. But at least we knew we had our property. But if government can take our property, and take properties in general, the value of property will decrease. And that is not good for any country. And that is why we as the agricultural community are trying to say that we do not support something that will work like this. Let's try to find solutions together. Let's try to find ways in which we can feed the most valuable commodity this beautiful country has, the most wonderful asset this country has. It's people. And let's work together to develop new farmers. And that is why we are not in support of this bill.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairperson. My name is Bobby Reineke, and I presented myself and the community around me. What is the goal of the ANC government wants to achieve with exploration without compensation? Is it, 1, to obtain land to supply to the needy citizens of South Africa to live on? 2, for these citizens of the government to be economically active on the land? Or 3, to supply the exploited land to the political connected within the ANC and their friends to further their political careers and ensure their re-election. It appears to me that the entire idea of exploration without compensation has become an enormous political spectacle, which is used by the political elite as a talking point during speeches to garner support for their political parties and to extend their influence on the citizens of South Africa. It is nothing more than cheap populist rhetoric. If a person looks at what has happened in South Africa in the recent past, specifically the endless bailouts which have been given to Eskom, SAA, Daniel and others to save themselves from bankruptcy, it is clear that the government has more than enough money to compensate landowners fairly at market-related prices for the property. Through the simple economical mechanism of supply and demand and the agreeable price, there is ample land available. There is also more than enough state-owned land currently available for the goal of providing housing and farming opportunities for South Africa's citizens. The problem is that land that has previously been bought by the state and redistributed to their approved recipients has not been equitably managed. The state has not provided the needed financial and technology support to the new inhabitants to ensure their success. As an example of this, one needs only look to Del Rival in the Northwest Province, where a farm with 6 working pivots irrigation system has been abandoned and left unused for the past 5 years. The problem is that land is distributed and the new inhabitants are then left by the state to fend for themselves. If the new inhabitants were to provide with property rights, it is very important for the new land. They will be able to borrow money against the property and through that be able to support themselves with the necessary equipment and supplies needed to farm independently, economically, and successfully. Another major problem is that the majority of South African population live on land which is owned to some degree by the state. These citizens thus do not have property rights on the very land they currently live on. As such, they cannot trade on or with the property and reap the financial opportunities associated with being a landowner. In this manner, the state, specifically the ANC government, has a hold on the inhabitants of the properties, through which the state exerts pressure on these inhabitants to continue to vote for ANC. Just once, but not allowing inhabitants or land to obtain property rights.
Time over.
Good afternoon. My name is André van Rooyen. More than 28 years ago, still in the apartheid era, there was a man of a vision, and his vision was freedom and rights to all. We all know him. His name was Nelson Mandela. Now this proposed Section 25 of our Constitution will destroy the Constitution. The same rights and freedom that Nelson Mandela stood for, it will fall. We can also mention a lot of speakers asked the question or raised the question, what about the money, the banks? Who's going to pay? Where is it going? Who's going to provide? Section 25 will destroy the banks because government will not pay it. And as soon as the banks topple, the whole country will fall. We will become a next Zimbabwe. Thanks.
Goeiemôre, my naam is Martinus Matthea. Ek is hier om vir my familie en myself. Ek is totaal gekant teen die voorstel van die onteiening sonder vergoeding. Dit wat ek in my lewe bymekaar gemaak het, kan ek nie laat wegvat sonder om vergoed te word nie. Daar is genoeg staatsgrond beskikbaar wat verdeel kan word.
Wat die staat eerder moet doen, is om die korrupsie te stop. Indien iemand iets wil hê of kry, moet hy betaal en werk daarvoor. Dit kan nie net gevat word nie. Dis hoekom ek totaal al gekant is teen die voorstel. Dankie.
Good day, I'm Martinez Mathieu. I'm here to represent myself and my family. I am totally opposed to this bill. The state cannot take away something that I've worked my whole life for. The first thing they should do is stop corruption. If somebody wants something, they need to pay for it and work for it. And therefore, I am totally opposed to this bill. Thank you very much.
Dumelang, yo buang ha ke moni mang le atjwe. Ke ema ha ke le kgatlhanong le molawana o batlang go change-iwa o wa section 25. Mabaka e le gore re utlwisa botlhoko ke gore a history e batla go ipoeletsa. Ke bua ke tswa ha ba batase ba golo ba rona ba tsetswe le hatshe go tswa ha Gatlhosi ha mashola a dulang teng. Ba hodisediwa go sekakeng se leng gore re sekola ka metsi go bendela dire ha malopeng. Ba golo ba rona ba khona go dula 5 to 6 months ba sena metsi a go nwa. Irile ha puso e pagama re itle gore ntsha mo botlhoking. Re gongwe e tla re ha e tla e tla e na ba golo ba rona phimula keledi ya go hodisiwa kwa ba bana 55,000. Ga ke itse gore a le teng le hatshe le leng gore le ka rekiwa ka 55,000. Puso ya rona re shebile gore ba golo ba rona ba tsieditswe. A puso ya rona e bue e shebe selo se gore ba golo ba rona ba tsieditswe ba tsetsweng le hatshe. Ya no ke utlwa botlhoko ha ile gore gape le rena le lone le tla batla go tsewa. Ya ka mongwantsa a tswa ba batla se a bua gore masepala wa re tlhekefetsa ba gaetsho. Re kopa gore masepala a tlogele gore tlhekefetsa mo le hatsing le rena le re husitsweng go gone ka bothata e le gore batla go tla go agela ba rona. Ni puso e tlogele gore e boe gore e tla go tsela di property tse leng tsa rona. Melawana e ka be puso e tsentse marapo diname mo go yone go e change ke ya tshireletsego ya basadi le bana. Ka go bone mo le hatsing re tsena mo go South Africa motsotso o mongwe le o mongwe o hetang awara gona le basadi le bana ba bolawang bana ba nyeletse me puso e ka re ga ire sepe ka dilo tsewa ba golo ba bang ga ba itse go bana ba bone gore a ba shule mabitla a bone a kae puso e batla go tla gore tsela dilo tse leng gore go a go ikhomisa ba itapele ba rena ba re ba tlhophileng ka dilo tsewa tsa ka le hatsi lewa le leng gore le botlhokwa nke kopela gore puso ya rona e re ha ba tswa ba e go bolela moetapele wa rona mo president wa rona gore ba tsenye tirisong ba hetule molawana ba tshireletsego ya basadi le bana go ba re a shwa re a nyelela basadi le bana ke a leboga.
Good day, everyone. My name is Moni Manglaetwe. I am standing here right from the beginning opposing the bill, and I'm very much against this section number 25, which the government seeks to adjust. And I've got reasons for this. Reason number one is that what I see is history is just about to repeat itself, because our grandfathers, our grandmothers have had land expropriated from them ages ago. And at that particular time, they then found themselves living for 5 to 6 months without any water to drink or any water to use. The land that was expropriated from them, they were compensated for it with an amount of some 55,000 rands. So I really wonder, is there anyone really who could be very satisfied to be compensated with that kind of an amount for a very good land that was taken away from them? So they actually have been taken for a ride, if I can be straight up with you. Now, what I would like to suggest to the government is that they must stop busying themselves with this particular bill right now, because the municipalities are actually busy harassing us. They must stop, the government must stop taking people's properties from them. But now, there is something actually interesting that they must concentrate on. You know what is that? It is the fact that now we've got kids and women in our country who are being abused. So this is something they should be concentrating on right now. Do something about it, because there are so many kids who are missing right now, and the government is not doing anything about this. And now they are actually concentrating on this particular bill. So let's do something different and stop expropriating people's property. Please go, when you leave from here as a committee, go and tell the president of the country that he must work on the bill that is related to the abuse of kids and women. I oppose the bill. Thank you.
Good day all. My name is Martin de Waal, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity and allowing me to present my case. I'm opposing this proposed bill because it will cause uncertainty in our property market, which will in turn cause the withdrawal of local and international investment in our country. It goes without saying that this will cause a major economical collapse and eventual collapse of our country. This has happened in one of our neighboring countries, and it's not proven to be very successful. Thus, I'm opposing this proposed bill. Thank you very much.
Here, on behalf of this community, but also on behalf of the whole country, I do not foresee that taking the land and giving it to the persons who do not have land will do any good to the country. Why do I say so? You cannot just give a person tools and say, now you can be an electrician. He will kill himself. So how can you give them land and say, now you must produce, if you do not teach them and educate them and be their mentors? And that is the main problem now. We just give to have the people pleased, but we do not follow up and look after them. There's a saying, as we say, tell me what you do, then show me how you do it. Prove me that you know how to do it. And then we, the government, we will come and help you to improve it. But that we is missing in this whole action. That's why we sit with the Estina. How much money has been lost there? How much does the court cases is putting out now? And so we can carry on and carry on and carry on. What we want to do, I maybe agree with. But how? The execution is totally against human being. I thank you.
Goeiemiddag dames, geagte dames en here. Ek is George Clough. Ek is 'n 65-jarige man. Bly in Kathu. Besit my eie huis. Ek verteenwoordig myself, my kinders en ander vredelewende mense in die land. Ek is teen die wysiging van die wet van die artikel 25 wet as gevolg van die totale verval in ons land. Kyk, hierdie munisipaliteit is gekry deur van Gamagara munisipaliteit het hierdie Kathu dorp gekry van Iskor af. En al wat oorgebly het is presies soos hierdie prentjie. 'n Trekker, 'n leë sleepwa en 'n stoor. Dis hoekom ek gekant is teen hierdie ding. As daar iemand is wat hierdie ding kan dryf, kan ons ander maniere kry, vredelewende maniere om hierdie probleem op te los. Baie dankie.
Good day, everybody. I'm George Cliff. I'm a 65-year-old man who lives here in Kathu. I own my own house, and I'm representing myself and my family, friends, and other loved ones. And I'm very against the amendment of Section 25 of the Constitution due to the decline of what has happened in South Africa. The municipality got this down from Iskor, and look at what it is now. It's just like a tractor, a few tools, nothing's really happening. So if someone can actually learn how to drive this and go forward, that would be good. But I'm against this proposal.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gaetsewe Paul. I'm the councillor at the district municipality. I'm here to oppose Section 25. It can't be correct that we're going to be abused by this government. It's abusing us already. This government wants to cage us. The women are being abused, the children are being abused. They cannot even deliver a service to our people. So I'm not gonna allow this Section 25, thank you.
Goeiemiddag, ek is Top van der Linde van Kathu. Ek bly nou al 53 jaar in Kathu. By Iskoor gewerk. Ek wil maar net sê, ek dink hierdie wetsontwerp is onprakties, want hier is baie mense wat eiendomme het, wat gewerk het daarvoor. Ons het self gewerk daarvoor. Ons voorouers gewerk daarvoor. En hier's boere, ek het so 'n stukkie grond ook. Hier's boere wat dit van die regering afkry en dan vat die regering dit weer terug. So wat is die nut dan nou om die grond te onteien? So ek is heeltemal gekant daarteen. Baie dankie.
I'm Tops van der Linde. I live here in Kathu, and I have been here for 53 years living in Kathu. And I want to say that this current proposed bill is impractical. There are many people who have land and they've worked for it. Our ancestors have worked for it, many people have. And then there are farmers who got land from government, but then it was taken away again. And that didn't work. So I'm very opposed to this bill.
Ek is Maria van der Linde en bly ook vir baie jare op Kathu. En ons het almal hard gewerk vir dit wat ons besit. So ek is absoluut teen die wysiging van die wetsontwerp. Dankie.
Good afternoon. I am Maria van der Linde. I've been a resident of Kathu for many years and have worked very hard for what I own, and therefore I am totally opposed to this bill.
Good afternoon. My name is Bram van der Westhuizen. I'm from Kuruman. I opposed any amendments to Section 25 of the Constitution, and my reasons are as follows. The state has millions of land, millions acres of land that is lying there. Utilize that for the purpose it is there for, not just lying and doing nothing about it. My opinion is that food insecurity will develop. The statistics are there. And it is not necessary for me to give any proof about that. By taking my property, you grossly infringe my constitutional right. My wife and I worked for 46 years. This, what we have worked for. We have built up what we have. We didn't get it for free. We didn't inherit it. We worked day and night to achieve what we have. We are still working. We are still continuing to work because we have children and grandchildren to look after. And that is the reason why our property cannot just be taken, because we work very, very hard for it. And lastly, but not the least, I think that this country is already deepened by division and being divided. And I think this will once again further divide our country. So please stop the proposed amendments. Section 25 is there. Let's continue with it. Thank you very much.
very last people that will be speaking, they must just come to this row, please.
Die laaste mense wat gaan praat, kom asseblief nou in die middelste ry.
Can I speak? Okay, I'm Eric Stanton. I worked for 43 years, and in those 43 years, I bought a small piece of ground outside of Kathu, where I started cattle farming. I produce cattle for the market. So the steaks that you people eat must come from my cattle. Now, I didn't get this ground for nothing. I bought it, and I worked it up. And we've had droughts, we've had a lot of things that puts a financial strain on you. And now, all of a sudden, there's a bill that comes out where they can take your property. Is the ANC government then a communist government, or what is this? Bills like this you don't get in a democratic society. I don't think so. I'm not opposed to helping people, not at all. But people must also help themselves. And then, as the one guy said, educate the people. Give them an opportunity to work the land or whatever. I've always been opposed to this buying land and giving it to the community. Then you've got a hell of a lot of farmers on one piece of ground, and that ground it deteriorates, and nothing happens. Why not take the money that the government, not all the government, the corrupt people in the government, have stolen from the people of South Africa, the taxpayers, and take that money and do something for the poor people. The poor people need help. So I'm altogether opposed to this bill. Thank you.
Goeiemiddag, ek is Marieke Cornelissen. Ek praat namens my familie en ek wil net graag sê ek is heeltemal teen hierdie wetsontwerp. Ek voel net ons het hard gewerk vir dit wat ons het en ons moes maar lenings aangaan om ons huis te koop. So ek voel net die regering kan liewer vir almal dit geld meer beskikbaar maak om vir hulle ook by huise te koop of plase te koop. Dankie.
Hello, I'm Marie Cornelissen, and I'm here to talk on behalf of my family. We're against this proposed bill. We have worked for years, and we've worked hard for what we have. We've also had to incur loans. So I believe that government should make more money available for people to buy their houses and farms.
Goeiedag. Ek is Abraham Cornelissen. Ek praat namens my en ek dink selfs namens die land. Want ons moet kyk na ons land, ons het mense wat ons moet sorg voor. Daarom voel is ek gekant. Soos ek nou geluister het, kan ek niks positief hoor wat hierdie onteiening nie. Nou praat ons van onteiening met vergoeding, sonder vergoeding. Nou as jy praat van met vergoeding, dan vra ek, waar wil ons land die geld kry? Ons het dit nie. Dit is nie daar om mense te vergoed nie. En hoe gaan hulle die mense vergoed? Baie dankie.
Good day. My name is Abraham Cornelissen, and I speak on behalf of myself, and I think actually the entire country. I'm opposed to expropriation, and what I've heard today, that there's almost nothing positive that can be said about expropriation. When we're talking about with compensation or without, when we look at with compensation, where will the money come from? We don't even have the money to expropriate with compensation. What will happen? Where will this money come from if it is expropriation with compensation?
Good day, honorable members. My name is Olebogen Leserwan. I'm from Kuruman, currently staying in Kathu. I would want to appeal that next time when we are having public hearings, we must make sure that you utilize local radio station so that it can arrive to other people who don't have data and whatnot to go on the website. Okay, number one, I support the expropriation of bill 100%. And number one, the issue of food security must not be made an excuse, because currently there are a lot of people who have a lot of land that they are not utilizing in this country. And there's also a gap between the rich and the poor. To see that indeed the government is doing the right thing, that's why you are seeing that a lot of white people, they are not supporting this Section 25. So indeed we are moving in the right direction. The other thing that we must make sure that when we implement the Section 25, it must go in line with fighting against corruption and nepotism, because we know that a lot of ANC leadership, they would want to give their own families, friends, a lot of land, which is unnecessary, those people who don't have the passion for agriculture. The other thing that I want to also make a comment is that the National Parliament of South Africa, they must start looking in a bill that will go in line of the 60 years retirement, because there are a lot of people who are being sent to parliament that they don't have interest of going to parliament, because already they are in a retirement stage whereby they will be looking after their grandchildren and kids, so that we can be able to ensure that we fight corruption. Most of them, when we see them at national parliament, most of them, they are sleeping there because they were supposed to be home and sleeping by then.
Goedemiddag, mijn naam is Majuba en mijn van is Selau. Ik is grondeienaar. De reden waarom ik hier is om die wetaanwijziging 100% ondersteun voor die volgende redes. Want die minderige bevoorregtes het niet die recht gehad om land te besit nie. Nou hierdie wetsaanwijziging kom as gevolg om daar die onreëlmatigheid en onrechtvaardige toepassing van die land en uitgere van die land te herstel. Ek het nog nooit gehoor in al die insaag wat gelewer was hier nie, wat het gepraat word dan van die werker en die eienaar. Dit gaan net oor ek het my land vir soveel bekom. Maar ons sê nie iets oor die mense wat die grond verwerk nie.